Fanspeak, where the plan runs deep. The team grind hard, don't eat, don't sleep. From best ball dreams to DFS streaks, they help you print money every single week. Fanspeak. No cap, no gimmicks, we breaking limits. NFL bets, yeah, we live this business. Meg and Steve, that OG vision. Draft room killers on a lifelong mission. More stress to the Sunday spread. Fanspeak's that voice that's inside your head. Best ball, DFS, NFL bets. They built it brick by brick, no regrets. Fanspeak team, printing money since day one. Fanspeak, forever.
Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network, and I guess this is another Saturday sibling showdown, Saturday sprint sibling showdown, a little special edition, Steve. But I'm excited to talk about it. You and I both loved this contest last year. Understand why Underdog didn't make it a flagship since there was overlay last year in sprint and marathon. But I'm pretty pumped because we're getting this Frenchie sprint. It's filling fast. Maybe we'll get a Frenchie sprint too. A girl can dream. Maybe I get the Frenchie marathon as well. But the best part is we're going to have you covered for all of it. As you know, on here on the Fanspeak Network, and of course our Fanspeak Degen Substack link in the description, and I will pin it too to chat, is 20% off, less than $30 a year for an entire year. And that covers Underdog, obviously best ball, DFS, Underdog dailies, NFL bets all year long, less than 30 a year. Again, link in the description. I'll pin it in the chat too when I throw it to Steve. But we are pretty pumped because I put out my sprint rankings last night. I put out a sprint article. We're doing a sprint show today, and we're going to just sprint our ass off to talking about it. And we are going to do 2 sprint shows tomorrow for our YouTube members. Again, $3.99 for the Fanspeak fam, 2 extra shows a week, team reviews, all the good stuff. So Steve, we're both pumped for the sprint. How are you feeling? And then I'll get to the chat.
Doing good. We had talked ahead. We thought they were going to, use the Frenchie to do this. And I'm glad they did it this week, and hopefully the marathon one's coming. And I think, the better price point is one key thing. It would not shock me if they do this again, and maybe even make it bigger, just because this is going to fill pretty damn quick. So
it's already over 25% filled, I believe. Right?
Yeah. And I only have 12 entries in, so I need to get some going. That's why we're doing this. We want to enter.
Exactly. I was going to say we might have to do some multi-tabling with the Fanspeak fam tomorrow, because this thing is filling quick. I know Coolers and Discord, and of course link in the description for our Discord too. When we ping that we're live, said he's multi-tabling to get it in to avoid slows. It does have the slow option, which is nice. But I don't know, let me just ping Discord. But are you just going to try to do as many as possible, or have you already entered some slows? What is your plan with this?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all I've done is slows so far. So I'm going to be in the slow streets. It's going to be hell. But no, I do think this is a great contest, and I want to take advantage of it. I think the lack of pod luck is a really good thing. And yes, I mean, there's obviously examples of people who benefit from pod luck, but so many of us, as we all know, have gotten killed by pod luck. So taking that away, I prefer it. I think it, again, rewards the best teams, the best built teams. And to me, I want to eliminate as much luck as possible in these contests. And this does a job of that.
Yeah, and it's your total portfolio too, right? Basically with this, and we'll get to it. It was part of our title, of my article. Just like you got to walk to run, you got to advance to sprint. So, getting as many, to use a U.S. World Cup pun, as many shots on goal, I think is key to try to obviously get as much, as many bullets in the chamber, whatever pun you want to use, bullets in the chamber, shots on goal, whatever the case is, you want to advance as many teams as possible. That's going to help your ROI, but then it gives you that many more chances to have a top finish. No, even if you don't finish in the top 10 or make 4 figures or whatever on one entry, it's the cumulative effect of what your teams advance. I told this story about my marathon team that I had that first place marathon team for 3 or 4 weeks. I was bummed out that it kind of fell, but then, that team still made 500, but as week 17 went on, different things happened. And even down to the Monday night game or the last game with Bijan, I had a bunch of Bijan in both marathon and sprint. I look at the end and my cumulative money went up in both marathon and sprint. And I'm bummed out about this one team. Okay, that particular team only won 500, but all these other teams either in the marathon jumped into the money or jumped in a higher tier. And then I had a couple of Bijan teams in the sprint that jumped to a higher tier just because Bijan went off, you know what I mean? And so that sprint, you know, like, yeah, after week 1 or week 15, excuse me, you might be like, I'm not going to bank it. You know, I'm not going to finish in the top 10.
Sure.
But, you know, the next 2 weeks, you could still like, again, move up significantly. And that's what makes it a fun 3-week sweat, which I love too. And that cumulative factor. Let me say hi to chat, and then we will go. Then we'll get into my article, the ranking, talk through a lot more things before we obviously jump into live draft, and you may do a couple extra live drafts too, depending on the chat. We had gotten a new member who then joined Substack. Shout out to Trevor. Love to see that. JT said technically I'm first. Trevor did comment. That's hysterical. Good to see you, JT. And drop the workout routine. Yeah, you don't see us for a couple of days, Aiden. I have been laughing at that AI, you know, using ChatGPT to make YouTube thumbnails. I was like pissing my pants laughing at that. I mean, I would do unspeakable things to have the Meg AI runner's body, and even in the best shape of my life, looked nowhere close to that. So that was that YouTube thumbnail is making me laugh. So yeah, drop the workout routine. You don't see us for a couple of days. Absolutely love the thumbnail, and hopefully gave you guys a good laugh too. Putting Steve to work on the weekend. I mean, yeah, but you wanted to. Absolutely. Let's sprint. I didn't do any sprints last year, so interested to hear. Yeah, we are going to break down strategy, talk about my rankings, and then get into it. This is thumbnail is scary. No, now knowing that Steve is 6'5" and moves like that. I did say on Friends of Best Ball, talking with BVG about height, check out the Friends of Best Ball with Best Ball Guy. That was a lot of fun. Maybe they're racing for their computers to start the show. Always racing. Never looked like that on the thumbnail, though. We got GM from our guy, Chad Candles. Good to see you in here. Our guy, Money Ain't Thing, Hallion. Good to see all of you. Appreciate it. Slayton said, I'm watching Josh and Hayden break down Cam, and bam, Fanspeak notification. It's like, you know, yeah, like when you say Cam, if you say it 3 times, I'll show up. Cooler said that in chat yesterday. He was like, something came up about Cam or something, and it didn't take long for me to show up. Hello, Zero. Good to see you. I know a lot of good discussion in Discord today about people's drafts, and Aiden and Hallie are sweating the baseball, and absolutely love that. So link in the description for the Discord too. I hope they release a Frenchie baguette. That's hysterical. Some people are just trying to have a Saturday with the kids, and Meg's saying F them kids. Never, but I do appreciate, we just thought this would be a good time to, we'll probably have occasional pop-up. I mean, we have Best Ball, if you're not aware. If you're watching this on replay, as I'm pouring more GIF for my dog, Rudy, if you're watching this on replay or live, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the Fanspeak Network. I know there were some new people on Twitter asking about sprint strategy. We have Best Ball shows every single weekday, sometimes 2 a days. We're working to do some longer shows to appease the YouTube algo. But every single weekday, Best Ball content. Sundays for our YouTube Fanspeak fam, YouTube members, 2 shows on Sundays for Fanspeak fam. And then, you know, we'll have an occasional pop-up Saturday stream, especially when this. Aiden says it's dead silent. Yeah, Rudy is being pumped full of peanut butter right now, so I'm sure he'll lose his mind soon. Good to see you, GM from Hartman. Doing sprint slowly is a losing strategy. Yeah, that is like an oxymoron. Doing the slow sprints, you know, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a different form of game theory, and it is fun to like discuss the different forms of game theory and what you do need to change. Flexing, I only won 500. Bad luck. Settle down, money bags. Hysterical. Brett, good to see you. Yeah, and the poodle dropped too. Steve, did you even see that before?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been busy.
Yeah. Okay. So you haven't gotten in any of those yet?
No, because I mean, that has 55,000 entries. So I figure it's going to, you know, take a minute to fill.
You know, looking at the thumbnail. Yeah. Everybody needs to know what's your RAS. Nobody wants to know My rats, yeah, not good for me either. Okay, Zero's already ripped his first poodle. The streets are soft. Mike says, from a woman who throws her little brother across the room, kicks chairs at him, saying unspeakable things. It's scary. Yeah, I know. Yeah, imagine that. I throw my brother across the room with, in case you're unfamiliar with this picture, when Steve gets home from the hospital. We did get in a fight in the early days of Fanspeak where I kicked a chair at him. And then, yeah, unspeakable things. What would that be? My God, scary. But I mean, look how good of a sister I am. I just have to show it again. I mean, and
you literally
look how
threw
much
me right
Steve looks
after.
up to me in my Olivia Newton-John.
You literally threw me right after that picture, and then that other one at the hate thing. You're trying to throw me into a ditch. So
no, my God, always looking out for my little brother.
I don't know about that.
Rudy, come on, man. All right, so let's talk sprint strategy, Steve. I'm going to bring over the Substack article link again in the description for our Substack, 20% off to get $30 a year. Just $30 a year is an insane value, in my opinion. But let's check out the article I did, and then the rankings are up. So the sprint rankings are up, and what I did is I basically used my classic rankings and adjusted based on the factors that I think is important for sprint. And the biggest thing is, as far as teams go, I do want to focus on teams. And that's why there's a big old picture of Dak Prescott. I do want to focus on the teams I love their offense. I think cumulatively in 3 weeks, they could score a lot of touchdowns, especially on a touchdown hunting site like Underdog. And I love their playoff schedule. So check for the Cowboys. And so that's why he's the poster boy for my article. But let's talk about everything I wrote about really quick here, Steve. So number one, build to optimize for great advance rate. You have to advance to sprint. Again, just like you have to walk before you run, you have to advance before you sprint. There's no sprinting if you're in 3rd through 12th place. I hate to be harsh, but you have to be 1 or 2 in the pod. So optimize. I mean, Rudy is being so bad. I'm trying so hard to focus and give good information. Hold on, let me hide my trash can. So yeah, we want to, we have to advance to sprint. You have to be 1 or 2. How do you do that? The ways I think you do that is, I'm just going to let him eat paper. I don't really care. I'm so frustrated. The ways I think you do that, 3 quarterback builds, even if you're a strong 2 quarterback, sorry, Steve. Even if you're a strong two QB team 2 QB, I think 3 quarterbacks do help optimizing for advance rate. More balanced builds. My personal favorites are 3-5-7-3, 3-6-6-3, 3-5-8-2, maybe even a 3-6-7-2. Just pretty balanced. If you're going to sacrifice anywhere, sacrifice tight end. I don't mean to be harsh, but that's, how I feel. Avoiding fragile builds like 0 RB, you have to have that projectable volume. And you even said, as much as I love like hyper fragile running back builds, like probably, I know someone in chat shared a pretty good, I think it was 0, a pretty good hyper fragile build, but I wouldn't go overboard on that. Just looking for balanced builds because, again, on the bye weeks, if there's a short-term injury, you just want to make sure you're covered and not taking zeros at any positions. Same with bye weeks. Manage those bye weeks to make sure you're not taking unnecessary zeros. Any other thoughts on just the first thing that is not different? We always want to optimize our advance rate, but in this, I really want to have as many shots on goal as possible in the sprint in those 3 weeks. And that's how I'm optimizing for advance rate. Any thoughts on that, Steve?
Yeah, I think, to the things that you said, but like the bye weeks is important. Like, don't overstack a bye week, not just from like one team, but like multiple teams. If, I understand people will say, well, it's important in any contest, and that's true. But the reason we say here is because once you get in there, every lineup then has equal opportunity, where, when you get into pods, that some lineups are just in bad pod luck, like, from that Thursday night game. Yeah. So I just feel like this is something, and we saw that last year, right? The Thursday night game was the Kyle Pitts game, week 15, and people were saying it's over. But for a thing like the sprint, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. So yeah, I just think anything you can do to optimize your team to get to the postseason, the sprint, is just so important. And even like micro edges, I think really help there. And that's why I do recommend against things like, zero RB, because rarely do we see a zero RB team finish first in a pod. Like usually they're finishing second, and then, yeah, sure, sometimes those teams go through and have a pretty good playoff run. But I think you're automatically conceding too many points in your chances to advance. And I'm sure enough people do it, there's going to be some that advance, but I think it advances at a much lower rate. And I think you're then set up to get less points in the finals because, week in, week out, I've talked about this. I talked about this on my show with Nice and Blunt. I was on yesterday, is we don't have guys who are getting 20 plus points every single week. It's very, very rare at, receiver and running back to have that kind of production. And, like last year, like Puka is a perfect example. Week 15, he had 23 points. Week 16, he had that 40-point explosion. Week 17, he only had 13 points. So you needed somebody else to kind of cover Puka that week. And that's fine. That's what we should expect. I don't believe a single player, a single receiver had 20 points in all three of those weeks.
I'm looking at Fantasy Pros, and we'll pull that up in a minute.
And I think only one or two running backs did. And the year before, it was one receiver and I think two running backs. So it's so rare that you're going to have a guy who legitimately hits your lineup, like in a big way. Like Puka maybe was still that guy's, could still have been somebody's flex at 13 points week 17, but he's not right, like leading your team to the top. Now his other two games helped quite a bit.
Yeah, his cumulative scoring was obviously, and that's what we're going to look at in a minute. So bottom line is, as far as just strategy one for sprint, just doing whatever to advance, 3 quarterbacks, balanced builds, avoiding bye week overlap, avoiding fragile builds, doing whatever you possibly can to feel like I'm doing everything possible to not make anything too fragile to push this through. Number 2 is drafting for ceiling outcomes, especially in weeks 15 through 17, very different from the eliminator. Not that you're not looking for ceiling players, but you do want to make sure you have ceiling players in there, in your lineup and throughout your lineup. That doesn't mean you can't have a Khalil Shakir or Cooper Kupp type, but you don't want to have too many of those types. You really want throughout early, mid, and even late in the draft. If I'm in the last round, yeah, I'm taking a Keon Coleman over Cooper Kupp, and yes, the structure of the whole receiver room will matter in the bye weeks and all that stuff, but that's just a rough example of that. So yeah, ceiling weeks, looking for ceiling outcomes. Any thoughts on that, Steve?
Yeah. And the other, point to this is obviously you like you said, the Cooper Kupps, that guy can help you advance the team and have his importance there, but you shouldn't be expecting those 10 to 15 points to be hitting your lineup. Can that hit your lineup in a pod, even a pod of like 13, 16, whatever it is, and push you through? Yes, but we are now talking about a much bigger pod. So you ideally want everyone hitting like 20 plus points in each of those weeks. So you want the guys out there who can do that, who have that in their bag.
You have to beat 3,700 people. And again, even if you, after week 15 are like, probably not getting first place or top 10, but I still want, you still are looking for ceiling throughout your lineup.
Yeah, exactly. You want as many ceiling performances as possible. So I just think, taking more shots on those kind of guys. Again, you want the balance to make sure you're getting through, but you want those kind of guys. And it's also like at quarterback, I did the show Nice and Blunt, and I mentioned grabbing Luke Willis because he has that ceiling outcome. Like, even if it's a terrible year for the Dolphins, like he just has that ceiling outcome. And it just takes one of those 3 weeks that he puts up a 35-point game, and it's totally worth it.
Yeah. Zero says, if your general strategy is balanced builds with projectable volume, how many teams out of 150 would you do some more fragile builds to lean into variance? I think that's a very fair question. I mean, out of 150, I think it's fine to do 15 to 20 out of 150 if you want to do mix in some zero RB, mix in some hyper fragile RB, especially because you are saying, okay, these 4 running backs are going to hit the 3 spots of 2 running backs and a flex most weeks, and including playoffs. And, I just need them to stay healthy and do their thing, and then building out from there. So I personally would probably yeah, do 15 to 20. It's not like I'm totally avoiding it. It's just like a smaller percentage than maybe your overall portfolio. So I think that's a good question there. But it's obviously your own risk assessment, right? Like just how, where you want to cap percentages on players, or are you comfortable with certain players being over 30%? Everybody has different stands on that. And it's all your own internal, risk, what's the risk adverse risk? What's the word I'm looking for? Help.
How risk adverse you are.
How risk adverse you are. Thank you. Okay. Let's keep wrapping this up because we want to talk through the rankings, talk through any other questions. Basically 3 and 4 go together to me.
Yeah.
And that's how it went in my rankings. All playoff weeks mean the same. So obviously in best ball, we talk about all the money's in week 17. Don't hyper focus one playoff week, rather look at the team's playoff schedule as a whole. Yeah, I mean, outside of like the Cowboys and a couple others, there maybe isn't a ton of teams where I love all 3 of their games.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm definitely leaning into the teams where I like 2 or all 3 of their games. And I wrote these 2 articles on our Substack, favorite teams to target in the sprint with playoff schedules I love. I did a power rankings of the week 17. Basically, we're looking to stack up top offenses and offenses with high projected point totals throughout the playoffs in weeks 15, 16, 17. So you can obviously do look ahead totals, and sure, a lot's going to change for that. But as I mentioned in both these articles, in the 17 power rankings, in the playoff schedule I love, I am looking for dome weather environment, high totals, high and tight, spreads, meaning has the potential to shoot out and go back and forth. Some of those ones that maybe just are going against a very fragile team like the Cardinals, they may steamroll them and not be playing much in the, I'm just using the Cardinals as an example, but it could be, sorry if Charles Go Easy Cards is in here, but you know what I mean? If it's a fragile game, we're looking for that high total back and forth. Yeah, we'd like to avoid like daunting defenses like the Texans if possible. And yeah, ideally good in game environments, both from a weather and back and forth high total standpoint. So I have these 2 articles that I think are very helpful. And I think, again, looking at look ahead lines and that kind of stuff, even though things can change, are the only things we can do right now. Yeah, things could change. Yeah. Injuries are going to happen on defenses, that kind of stuff. Like right now, the Rams look scary as shit, but if Myles Garrett and, if what's his face, who's the one that's coming back, might come back, Aaron Donald, back and they're injured, maybe it's not as scary, so it's like, those are things we can only work with the information we have now. And that's how I wrote these 2 articles. And that's what I'm using for the rankings. So basically I am stacking up and pushing offenses and teams up of offenses that I love in general, that I think are going to finish in the top 10, essentially, because we want as many touchdowns scored, and offenses I think could score as many touchdowns in weeks 15 through 17. Therefore, that goes to the teams playoff schedules I love. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, like you said, like every game matters, and so it's just one of those things. Like and I used the Kyle Pitts example earlier. It's okay if he didn't have a good week 16 and 17. He got you plenty of points that one week. So hunting for that is fine, and I think when whether it's like, you don't want to play Tampa because you do worry about the Rams defense. Well, Tampa's other games look pretty good. You don't want to play the Packers' overall schedule isn't the greatest, but you worry about the Packers because they, play Houston. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, hopefully the Christian Watson is a 25-point game, week 15.
Again, we have the schedule, full schedule here that we'll bring up throughout too. But yeah, I mean, there are certain teams where you may not like one week, but you certainly like the other 2 a good bit.
Well, what I'm also saying is like, we need to change our viewpoint, because I think everyone is so week 17 focused that people knock the Packers, where it's like, here the Packers cumulatively might be better than some teams that look great week 17.
Right. Right.
So I just think we need to have a better perspective of that.
One thing I noticed going through it, like I feel like Philadelphia, San Francisco.
Sorry, the one thing I wanted to mention, Zero's comment here, I do agree, the Dolphins game for the Chargers is potentially a down, though, as I've mentioned before, that is a Mike McDaniel homecoming to Miami. I could see them putting up some points.
Yeah, you had said that. Yeah, just let me finish my thought. The Eagles, you know, San Francisco Eagles could potentially have a back and forth element to it in San Francisco in week 17, but Seahawks and Houston are not games I love. So, you know, it's more that I like dinged Saquon just to touch on that. Like, as far as like the running backs that he goes around, I simply just like the running back schedule a little more, you know, for some of the, like, I like, obviously big dogs schedule, the Derrick Henry schedule against Steelers, Cleveland, Cincinnati, especially finishing in Cincinnati. 2 of those 3 I think is fine. Cleveland, who knows without Myles Garrett, what, you know, there's a lot of guesswork. And I know there are some resources. I'm missing one, but I know someone tweeted some about, you know, the defensive matchups. But again, we can only work with the data we have right now. And yeah, there are certain teams where if I don't like all 3 or 2 of the 3, I'm dinging them rankings wise. If I like 2 of the 3 or like all 3, I'm bumping them up in my rankings basically. Any other thoughts on that? And then I want to catch up with chat.
Yeah, well, I think Money in the Thing has the perfect comment here. Like last year, Ravens projected to be a top 5 defense, and then they all got injured and sucked. And yeah, so it's like the schedule is just, and I've said this, like truly the only defense, maybe now the Rams also, but truly the only defense that truly scares me is Houston. I mean, there's other really good defenses out there. Denver for sure, maybe Seattle, you know, a couple others, Minnesota, but there's so many variables that can happen. At the start of last year, everyone thought the Jets defense was going to be the nuts, you know. They ended up getting shredded by the Steelers week 1 and honestly didn't play any better from then on. And then of course, trade away their top 2 defensive players. So it's like we sometimes get way ahead of ourselves on these things. Injuries are just guys playing down, or also, and this is so important this year, is we have so many new coaches, so many new coordinators. In some cases, that could be a good thing. Like, you know, Washington getting a new defense coordinator, it can only go up from where it was. But, you know, in other situations, that new coordinator or that new head coach could totally turn that defense, you know, the Jets being the example just gave. I think that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
You know, why things went kind of south there. So, you know, there's just so many unknowns, and I'm not going to get overly worried by defensive schedule.
I tend to lean into the other stuff more as far as like the look ahead projected total, the potential for a back and forth shootout, the game environment, you know, that kind of stuff. Let me catch up with chat really quick. Rudy, who's, you know, just making so much noise next to me. Bark, bark, don't blame me. Play like a champion. Absolutely hysterical, Mike. Absolutely, Thad. Just go get your guys. Okay, we answered that question. Yeah, I would probably be 15 to 20 at least, so about getting crazy. I've got Cullen in here. Wow, Meg and Steve, you guys are in incredible shape. I mean, lips to God's ears. Even in my best shape in my 20s, I didn't even look anywhere close to that. And like I said, I would do unspeakable things to look like AI running Meg, but absolutely hysterical. Steelers, Falcons, Saints, Cowboys, Giants are 5 teams, 0 likes. I'm bringing over my article here. Playoff schedules I love. My favorites were Dallas. Now this was before the Myles Garrett trade, but still all in domes, you know, and then all with I think a potential of back and forth high scoring games. 49ers either in dome, one is at Chiefs, and then in California, and then again back and forth potential. Tampa, same. Either good weather or indoors. Rams now looks a little bit more difficult, obviously. Saints, again, a lot of dome game, all dome games. And definitely
Tampa,
some, what's that?
It's at Tampa,
sorry.
But yeah.
Oh, I missed that one because I wrote all dome games. Whoops. So, and now I need to take this away from Rudy. And then Bengals, I especially think 16 and 17. We know the Bengals Ravens game 17, but at Colts, I tend to like a lot. I think it could be a back and forth type game, high scoring game, and indoors. Absolutely love that. So those are 5 of my favorites. Some other ones that I really like. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me put this up and take it. Talk about some of the ones you love.
Well, another one is Washington, Atlanta, at Minnesota, at Jacksonville. So weather should be, relatively good. Atlanta's defense is not great. Jacksonville's defense is average, above average at best. Minnesota could be tough, but potential shootouts for all those games, I think those could be good. As mentioned, the Chargers, I think are really fun. Rams
that,
also,
beyond
Dallas.
Go ahead.
What's that?
We're just absolutely talking over each other. Go ahead.
Yeah, at Seattle, and Tampa, I think is really good for the Rams. So there's a lot of good ones, and like I think as Zero or some said, like there's some where again one game isn't as great, and that's going to happen. But that's the whole point why this is fine, because if you have grades 15, grade 15 and 16, but 17, sucks a little bit, whether it's because of weather or just situation or maybe no pushback. You just, sometimes that's going to happen. Like Minnesota could be one, like Detroit and Washington, and then at Jets, you just run the risk of that being a blowout, them getting defensive touchdowns, and not needing to do anything. But okay, if Minnesota drops 30 on Detroit and Washington, who shouldn't have good defenses, Justin Jefferson could be the nuts wide receiver in the sprint.
So Zero says Steelers, Falcons, Saints, Cowboys, Giants. Yeah, I like all those. I think Steelers are kind of a little sneaky as far as Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore Bengals tend to play high scoring. Baltimore Steelers usually are knife fights, rock fights, or whatever, but you never know. Last year, I think was it the last game that like doinked, and I feel like that was more like 23-20. I can't remember, but Carolina, Tennessee, I think has a lot of potential there. So again, that's another one that I don't mind. Let me go back to.
Yeah, I think people are on Team Rudy Sladen here saying.
Viva la resistance, Rudy. Absolutely hysterical. Oh my God. He's going to literally drive me insane. But yeah, to go back to that comment, I think that's sneaky. Falcons was another one I didn't mention that I do like a good bit. Giants, I don't mind either. And not just because I love Scatabo. But I mean, you've got, let's see, I'm looking at it, trying to find it on the white. Oh, by New York.
I totally agree with Zero here.
Cleveland, don't love it, but at Detroit, at Dallas, 2 dome games with, if their offense is cooking, has some potential. So yeah, in summary, I do really, really like Dallas, 49ers, Bucks a little less, Saints a ton, Bengals, Chargers. But there are those sneaky ones like Giants, Steelers, like Falcons, other ones. Are there any other ones that were mentioned in chat? Did we cover? They talked about Chargers. I like to look into teams that are facing other teams that can score. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah. That's why I really worry about the games against like teams that could have a ton of fragility. Like I mentioned Arizona, or go ahead.
Well, and I know Zero, I'm trying to catch up with chat, but saying I've seen people jump on Devonta Fowler in sprint, but I think Devonta needs to be much lower overall. I don't know. Like, I think people are overhyping Seattle's defense. Seattle lost 3 secondary members. Like that doesn't get fixed overnight. They lost one of the top pass rushers, and Philly's offense is, it's again, another one that just has to get better. I mean, it was so anemic last year. And then they have Washington, who I don't know if they have a secondary, and the 49ers, who also might not have a secondary. So I think Devonta Smith could cook. I mean, Seattle could still be tough, the toughest part of the trio, but Washington, San Francisco could be.
Giant? Are you talking about Eagles? Eagles have Seattle and.
Oh no, it's Texans. I'm sorry, I thought that was Washington. Houston.
That's why
Houston's
I don't love that.
tough.
Yeah, those 2 are really tough. Let me catch up with chat really quick, plow through this so we can get to talking rankings and getting in a draft. If week 17 was home in a dome, okay, you're talking about the Lions. Yeah, I do like that. The Lions are another one that I think I like 2 out of 3 at Minnesota, Giants, and at Chicago. And their Chicago games have been decent scoring. Yeah, it's in Chicago, and so that part is a factor. So yeah, let me see anything else catching up. Bijan 101 over Gibbs in sprint. I still have Gibbs at 101. Did the rankings yesterday. I still have, but yeah, I like the Falcons playoff schedule a lot too. DJ Quill likes the thumbnail. Appreciate it. I was literally laughing out loud making the thumbnail. Absolutely laughing out loud. AI running Meg doesn't draft Scatabo. I mean, I think she still does. Viking. Okay, so King QC agreeing with you about the Vikings schedule outside of the Jets game. Makes sense. Isn't Harbaugh versus Arthur Smith? No, Arthur Smith's in college now, right?
He said this isn't Harbaugh versus Arthur Smith.
I can't read. I'm sorry. I'm struggling today, guys. I'm trying so hard on a Saturday.
That's why he said it's Doyle versus McCarthy will be a movie week 15.
Oh, got it. Yep, missed that. That was a problem. My bad. Okay, yeah. Look at King QC says, look at the Devontae Smith games without AJ Brown, and yeah, that's why I've drafted a ton of Devonta Smith too. Okay, any other playoff schedule? Again, I gave a big bump to basically everybody, all the teams on this list, especially Dallas, San Francisco, Tampa, New Orleans, Cincy, Chargers, a little bit to like Atlanta, Detroit, some of the other ones we mentioned. And then I dinged some of the ones that I really didn't like. So that's how I kind of made my rankings. Again, all this. So we have the Substack article, we have the Substack rankings, and that is just for paid subs. And again, 20% off, link in the description, less than $30 a year. You have all the rankings, all the different formats. If they do marathon, we'll do that too. So you have all the formats on Underdog, DraftKings, and we'll draft her soon. I think that covers it. Any other thoughts, Steve, on that?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. So again, rankings are in the Substack. I have my rankings in. So let's get into, I wanted to pull over one other quick thing, Steve, just looking at, the points scored weeks 15 through 17. I'm going to lose my mind with Rudy. Can't come soon enough. Okay. So this is weeks 15 through 17. Right now we're looking at, we can't look at running backs and receivers together, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So 15 through 17 running backs, this is by total fantasy points, was Bijan, Henry, obviously catapulted by the week 17, but again, total points, it was still Bijan number 1, but Henry number 2, Chase Brown number 3, McCaffrey number 4, and then James Cook, ETN, Swift, Ramondre, Harvey, JCM made it. Did he have a big week 15?
No, 16 against or whatever that Cowboys game was when he had that 70-yard touchdown run.
Oh, that's right.
Because also Chris Rodriguez missed also.
Oh, that's right. And then Kyron Genty to round out the top 12. Again, Genty had that massive week. So some of these are totally catapulted by even 1 week. And then maybe it was like average, good, great. I remember, people the year before in 2024 talked about, Saquon was terrible in the playoffs. It's like, no, he just had a terrible week 15, but he had an amazing week 16, like 2 touchdowns. We were rooting for it against Washington, and then had a good, like no touchdowns, but like 120 yards when they pulled him before he, as he was trying to go for the record and everything. So it was like bad, amazing, good. You know what I mean? Like, it is just the cumulative effect. And yeah, of course you want to have 3 great games. Wide receiver wise, looking at last year it was Puka, but right behind was Olave. And I guess that was probably was he more balanced all 3 weeks?
He was actually one of the more balanced ones.
And then Jamar
so
Chase.
Chase was actually didn't have the 40-point burger that Puka did, but Chase had better weeks. Like every week was more usable.
ASB, JSN, Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, which Cortland Sutton, I know you were rooting for him week 17 in the finals. Who's terrible week 17, but obviously he had a good week 15 or 16 to be 7th in total points those weeks. Jennings, Michael Wilson, Zay Flowers, shout out Mike Robb, Diggs, and DJ Moore. So yeah, it really is interesting. And just to kind of point out structurally, so total points from the top 2 receivers were 71 and 77 and 71, but then it shoots down to the 50s with Jamar Chase, ASB, just Jamar Chase and ASB, then the 40s. If you look at running backs, I think we're going to see, something different. Yeah. So this is why when
Yeah,
you hear
that's
Steve and
what
I,
we talk about
I
running
have
backs.
I have it for half point PPR scoring, obviously, and that's what we play on Underdog for half point PPR scoring. This is why I'm not going to build much zero RB. Is we typically do see that running backs just score more points than receivers, especially in the NFL meta and the NFL landscape, but also just in half point PPR and touchdown hunting. As you can see, the top scorer Bijan was in the 80s. Derrick Henry was still above Puka. And then Chase Brown was right tied with who was second receiver, was tied
Olave.
with Olave at 71. And then so you have and then several
McCaffrey's right there as well.
Yeah, McCaffrey was right there. So basically above 50 points, you had 8 running backs, and above 50 points in receivers, you had 4. Yeah. So that's just kind of the stuff. And I know every week this season is a different season and yada, yada. But again, in this NFL landscape, I think that is important to consider. Let me just take a look. I'm just actually downright curious about tight ends, and it knows Trey McBride, but and that'll go to I'll do some elite tight ends, but I'm certainly only doing 2. I will still do plenty of 3 because the season before I don't think many elite. I think Trey McBride hit the last week, but really didn't do much else if I'm remembering correctly, and it was just like you could get away. The sprint winner got like total 20 some points from his tight end or something like that the year before.
That was 2 years ago. Yeah.
That's what I meant 2 years ago. Looking at last year's quarterback, it was Lawrence, Purdy, May, obviously the top 3. But
big gap between Lawrence and Purdy.
Yeah. Wait, no.
From them and everyone else.
Oh, okay. Yeah. From Lawrence and Purdy down to May was like a 20 point almost. Yeah. And then tight end, it was Kyle Pitts, obviously.
Yeah. So that's why I said, because he had 40 of those, 58 points in 1 week. And that's what I mean. Like 1 week for tight end, especially 1 week can carry the entire thing because, like obviously that game and it's all you needed. Like Trey McBride had like 2 good games, one bad, if I remember right. And, it is pretty telling. And that's why I'm still okay doing 2 tight ends if you feel you have a good enough room. Just because this is the one position I feel like you don't need the nuts. Like I feel like you really needed Lawrence or Purdy in the sprint last year.
Yeah. Because they lapped the other guys basically.
Yeah, they really lapped the other guys, and
but even McBride. I mean, McBride and Pitts were 14 more points ahead. But look at the difference; they scored 50 in the 50s. The running backs and receivers are scoring in the 70s and 80s. Essentially. So it is like when we talk about what is the word I'm looking for? Please help me. I'm struggling.
I don't know where you're going.
No, opportunity cost. That is a thing because
it absolutely is.
So even if you think Brock Bowers is the nuts, and maybe is, and I will have some Brock Bowers and a few elite tight end builds, but you damn well better make sure you do catch up on the other positions because they most likely still won't come anywhere close to the running backs and receivers. So I do think that's all important to consider. So I think this is just a helpful, useful exercise, and so that's why when I say I do balanced builds, I'm almost always doing 3 quarterbacks, not getting over fragile, and then I'm having a more balanced build. And if I'm going to peel back anywhere, it's going to be two tight ends. So I'll do a lot of 3-5-7-3, 3-6-6-3, but I will do some 3-6-7-2 or 3-5-8-2, depending on how many running backs and stuff I got. Anyways, all right. I think that covers it. Let me catch up with chat, and then we can jump into a draft. I need to hit the champagne early after dealing with Rudy right now. He's going to drive me to kill his hitting hard. Love it. Love the Saturdays. Appreciate it. Hold on 1 second, Steve. We got our guy, Andrew, in here. Good to see you, Andrew. People are sleeping on RJ. I don't know where I have RJ ranked for this, but I don't think the Denver's schedule stood out to me particularly. Do you have that up still, Steve?
No, I don't.
Okay,
But
people are enjoying their Saturdays. We got a little tequila, we got a little Modelo. I do need some champagne to deal with Rudy. But definitely good combos in chat. Let me try to keep up. Absolutely, RVs are king. The data shows for sure. We definitely have no clue what will be good 5 months from now. So diversify and hope for the right combos. But we can see by the numbers that the last few years certainly that tight end scoring is much less than running back and receiver, and running back scoring on half point PPR is higher than receiver. So I do think you want to make sure you're covered there for sure. But absolutely, definitely diversify those bags and portfolios for sure to deal with the variance for sure. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, I think just good combos. Anything we're talking about Firemouth is obviously awesome. Again, worked hard on getting the sprint rankings and article up. Check that out. Substack link in the description. Let me bring over Underdog. We'll get into one, and then Steve, you can stay on and draft as many as your heart desires. But let's rip one together. How about that? And I sent you my rankings too. And also while I'm pulling this up, can you retweet that we are live?
Sure.
Okay, I am counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. Whoops. Hopefully that didn't mess anybody up. Okay, got in. It was waiting for one. So hopefully a few of you got in with us. Let's see here. And I do have my rankings. So we've got 0, we've got JT, we've got Minsu, we got Legion 1 through 4. We're at 6, and King QC is at 9, and Brew Crew's at 12. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Big old friends and family draft. Unfortunately, only 2 of us move on, but certainly hope it's 2 of the Fanspeak fam that are moving on in this. And again, we will. If you said Rudy every time he squeaked something. You could play a drinking game, you'd be annihilated, because I've yelled at Rudy about 10 times already today. Rudy, why don't you just come up and sit with me and look adorable? Andrew tried again. I'm sorry, Andrew. But hopefully you're getting down some fun sprint action too. And Andrew and Justin have a big show on Monday, doing a longer show together, and then he'll do his lineup legends before or after. So looking forward to that. And then we will be doing sprint shows for our YouTube Fanspeak fam, YouTube members, Fanspeak fam, tomorrow night live at 9:30, and then a taped strategy show to go even more detail at anytime you want to go back to it easily, kind of like a succinct.
So we're going to obviously have to put on hold you drafting with my ranks.
What? No, I'm drafting with mine. I'm confused. What?
For our Fanspeak.
Oh, yes. Okay, McCaffrey or Lamb? I've pushed Lamb way up, obviously. But what do you want to do?
I'm McCaffrey.
Okay. Love the 49ers schedule, and that works for me. I'll go back to the board. So yeah, I pushed up McCaffrey. I pushed up Lamb. I pushed up Pickens. I pushed up Dak. Like, I absolutely love Dallas's schedule and love Dallas's offense. So yeah, King QC, go to him at 9, I think is fun. So yeah, you'll draft. We will draft this one as a team. Yeah, that's right. Fanspeak fam YouTube member show. Last week Steve drafted with my ranks. We were supposed to this week. I draft with his. We're going to do a sprint live drafts tomorrow while it's still open tomorrow night for the Fanspeak fam, and then next week, unless they drop like a marathon, then I'll be doing that. But then very soon, either next Sunday or a Sunday soon, I promise it'll go back, Steve, and I will draft with your ranks for sure. But yes, my sprint ranks are in. And did you see I sent my sprint ranks to you?
Yeah, I need to update those.
Like, I bumped down like Barkley to 13 because I don't love the first 2 weeks at all for him. But quite honestly, I'm even tempted to move like Kenneth Walker or Chase Brown ahead of him. But he goes, we're up in 2, Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, or, I mean, I don't mind pulling Pickens up to, I have him ranked 19.
I would do Walker or Brown for sure.
I just did I tested out my rankings last night and this morning today, and I love them, by the way. And oh shit, I just was going to say I just did a Walker CMC team, so I wanted to mix it up. But I know there's plenty more to do. But can we please do Pickens, please?
No, let's do Kenneth Walker.
I just did it.
Oh, I think it's a pretty good, move to do.
Well, I'm going to make sure I'm doing a different one. I just looking at the draft I just finished. I literally just did. I think that was the one I did late last night. Let me see what I did here. So do I have the board back up? We'll just stay here. I did Kenneth Walker. I did Higgins and Scattaboo, to nobody's surprise, as my next two picks. And
all right, that means we can't take Scattaboo.
No. And my stacks were Purdy, Mayfield, Rogers.
By the way, we have somebody else in here, Matt. He's in the 5 hole.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Love to see it. Thank you for catching up while I was looking at my okay, up in 2. I'll sort by, well, I'll just cue some of my, okay, I said I already did Higgins, so maybe, what about Ladd? Oh, Rudy.
I mean, Ladd's good. I like his play.
By ADP, you could do Neighbors, Rice, Higgins, Javonte. It is pulling it up.
Yeah. Well,
yes or no?
I think Ladd correlates with Kenneth Walker also.
Yeah, week 17, absolutely. Okay, but you want your bone? Or you just want to look cute and stop being bad? Huh? You gonna stop being bad? Huh? Yeah. Look right in that camera. Just show how cute you are. The biggest tragedy is the overflow still needs 10. Oh no, Sladen, I'm so sorry. And our guy Andrew missed it. Zero says King of QC. Okay, he's eating my hair. In perfect position to take Devonta. Thank you for joining us, Matt. Be sure to we'll check out your team, but be sure to subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. We have best ball shows every single weekday, sometimes Saturdays, and YouTube member shows on Sundays. But thank you so much for joining us. Okay, Brett almost took Walker at 13. Brett's name is which one, Steve? Help me remember. Brew Crew. Thank you. No, I know. I like Kenneth Walker a ton. I feel like a fraud taking Gibbs 101. Why are you just Bijan? Are you strictly Bijan 101?
He said earlier Bijan is 101 in sprint.
Gotcha. Walker Hampton will be large ownership. Yeah, that probably will be for sure. Oh, come on, baby. Got scat at 54 last night at BBM. Holy smokes. Wow.
Clearly not a draft you were in.
No, clearly not. Okay. Speaking of, damn it. I was going to say I wanted him. Okay. By my ranks, Terry, Devontae, Terry's the high, on the higher side, or higher, excuse me. What do you want to do here? So, I guess it's Terry. Sorry. Shit goes fast. Sorry. We'll stay here. Yeah. So 2-2 with McCaffrey Walker. At least it is different from the McCaffrey Walker start that I had, though I am still bummed out. We lost Scattaboo 1 pick ahead, and it wasn't even Legion stealing it from us. So this is by ADP. I do like the Detroit schedule. You mentioned the Rams schedule. If we wanted to take a third running back, Swift, I think, is interesting. This is by my ranks. I did put Henderson up as far as like spike week potential. I tried to get him in a draft I tested earlier today. I tried to get both him and Ramondre just to, we've seen the ping pong of both usable weeks and spike weeks, both with them and a lot of other. I just missed it in a draft earlier. Yeah. So what do you? Okay, DJ Moore goes. JMO's there. I was gonna say if we would have gotten like Higgins or Chase Brown, it would have been fun to do like Lamar and that for like a hammer. But up in one, what do you want to do, Steve? I kind of want to go like a spike week type receiver like JMO or Christian Watson. Rudy, stop.
Yeah, let's go JMO here.
Okay. Sounds good. I need more Goff in my life too. I mean, I know it is week 17, but I think as people pointed out, I really like his, I still like his week 15, 16 a lot. Let me bring the board back over now. So we'll be back up at 67, 78. So I was just looking to see Legion is in this draft. He was just on the other side of us before we both got sniped on Scatavo. Sorry about that. Meg, we're about to put you through a UD name boot camp. I know. Wait, who's Hartman full fading?
I think Devonta Smith.
Oh, gotcha. That's right. They were talking about Devonta. Oh, thank God Rudy's laying down. Oh, Brew Crew double taps elite quarterback at the turn, Alan Lamar. That's kind of fun. We'll be back up at 67. I mean, to be able to do, with Lamar, or not double tap, sorry. He got Allen at 37 and Lamar at 60. I stand corrected. Jacksonville's another schedule. They have a tough week 15. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but weeks 16 and 17 is pretty fun. All right. Terry. I just want to use the star method for a little, keep an eye on Herbert. I mean, could go Jaden here as far as potential stacks, but I'd be fine waiting and doing like Herbert. But what do you want to do based off ADP? This is what it's at, basically.
I definitely wouldn't do Herbert. So I would take like Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, we can't do Herbert now. Well, we could, but it has the same bye week.
I wouldn't. But I think Daniels has a great playoff schedule. And, we got Terry. Like, there's no need to be pulling up a quarterback who, goes over around later.
Evo said, I just need to get this. Oh, first of all, hello, Evo. Good to see you. We have matching hats from the gym. Great to see you, Evo, from the gym. I need to go to the gym to be inspired by my AI picture. I need to go to the gym, but that's awesome. And then he says, I need to get this off my chest. Every time I see Steve in a red polo, I can't not see Ron from Parks and Rec doing his Tiger callback after he scored the night before. Oh my God. First of all, hysterical because Steve's favorite TV character of all time is Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that episode though, Steve. Do you know what he's talking about? I'm trying to remember.
I do. I think it might have been one of the Tammy episodes or something. But I mean, it's been a while since I watched rewatched Parks.
Okay. I'm bummed. See, I would have rather gone Herbert and Goff because I don't think we should still go Herbert here. I don't know. What do you want to do here?
No, I don't think we do because it goes against our point of doing what it takes to advance.
Yeah. Why'd you make us take Jane? He's going to be hurt.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right. This is ADP.
I would go Sutton.
What about what do my ranks say? Oh, Sutton. Okay. All right.
Oh God.
That's funny. We'll be back up at 91 and 102. Yeah. No, that we did a whole thing about watching bye weeks. You're right. Doing whatever we can to possibly advance. So you're right. And, I need to be not so stubborn about maybe Jaden, whether he's healthy 17 games. I'm very, very, very skeptical on that. But if he's healthy like he was 2 years ago during the playoffs, obviously that is extremely powerful. And that is what we're looking for. You are right. I got to force myself. And we could still take Goff because we don't take Herbert, take like Jaden Goff and somebody else. So, but I mean, speaking of the AI photo of us as runners and me wishing I had the runner body, it made me think of like God damn it, even in my thinnest days, even on my deathbed, I would never be as thin as that. Like, and I'm like, God damn it. I don't even know if I believe in like coming back in another life, but I would love to come back as a petite singer.
Okay. What the hell
I want
does
to be
it
able
have
to
do with
sing, and I want to
anything?
be petite. We're not petite people. And I just want to be petite like Jaden Daniels. Okay.
Oh my God.
I know.
This is my hell. I need a bourbon.
We need a running back, I feel like. We just talked about projectable volume, and we have two awesome, but I love Michael Pittman too. So what do you like by ADP? We could go quorum. Steve, quick, 6 seconds.
I don't love quorum.
Okay,
So I would take
Pittman. It's
I'd
way
take
early, but I
Pittman
don't
or
care.
Addison. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we need a running back with this thing, or it's just going to be. Probably
I'd take Gainwell for sure.
Over Dobbins?
Yeah, I mean, Dobbins is tough.
Like looking at the projectable volume and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, Dobbins is okay. It's tough. He's coming off a big injury.
Oh shit! Where's Goff?
Well, Goff's not. I mean, I guess the next pick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm queuing up for. And 7 picks were up at 102, and I said, yeah, honestly, we can't find. This is going to have to be. Even though we went double anchor, I would probably do like a 3-6-6-3 with the way we started. Don't you think? I mean, look at those 5 receivers.
Yeah, no, I mean we're fine receiver wise.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like I think because we're gonna end up waiting. So shit, Goff goes to 0. Good pick.
Thank you for not calling him a name.
I didn't call him a name.
Very proud of you. There's Bo Nix also.
Yeah, Bo Nix. Thank you. Okay. I was just looking for like running quarterbacks too. We didn't get.
We could take a running back here. Like Dobbins. I mean, I think JT Gainwell is the better pick.
I'm just worried that I want a second good quarterback in 115. I mean, Baker's my guy there. If you want to do that, do you want to go? Dobbins goes. Do you want to do? Oh, we could do Gainwell then hope for. Or no, Gainwell went too.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, let's just take Bo Nix at this point. Like everyone else, I wanted is gone.
I was gonna say if we had Gainwell there, we could go Gainwell then Bakey. You like my little pet names for everybody?
Yeah, I'm sure they love it too.
Okay, Rudy's finally sleeping, so now I'll be on the show all day with you. Just kidding. He was so bad. Oh my God, he was so bad for save me from myself. Who is he talking to? Is he talking about Scatterbo?
No.
This is why when you fall too far behind chat, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that's my bad. That's my bad. So he said, so I guess congrats, Steve. Okay, he said, yeah, 3 different Tammy episodes. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Emo. That was driving me crazy, but I knew what you were talking about, but I didn't know couldn't remember the particular episode. Steve, what's your favorite Ron Swanson category or Ron Swanson episode? I like the one where he got hammered where they had
that's good. But the one where he's the basketball coach and does the Ron Swanson pyramid of success or pyramid of greatness or whatever. Yeah. It's fantastic.
To sum up, don't go hunting with Meg. If Lamar was going to, Warren would be on my team, but I needed a wide receiver. Okay. All right, we're almost back up. By ADP, a lot of quarterbacks here.
Yeah, I'd do a running back though. I think Aaron Jones or Chris Rodriguez.
But there's all these good quarterbacks too that we could get them later potentially. Our next pick could get
take Aaron Jones. Take Aaron Jones.
Oh God, that's horrible. Oh, I would have rather just locked up like Baker or Shuck. I love both.
I think we're going to get one of those quarterbacks coming back. There's 4 quarterbacks here.
And a lot of people have one quarterback. You miscalculate. No, but we had to have Aaron Dustball Jones.
I said Jones or Chris Rodriguez.
Chris Rodriguez would come back there.
No, he wouldn't. JT just got him.
Serenity now. It's another good show. I need to watch that episode.
Oh my.
Is there anybody else on the board you like? I don't like this team. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Yep, I told you. I absolutely told you. We had to get Aaron Jones, and there was just a massive run on quarterbacks.
Okay, it's not the end of the world.
It's not great. What do you want?
I would probably go Mark Andrews.
Why not Jake Ferguson? I like his schedule better.
No, I mean, Andrews is the more featured point, and I think Andrews is the better schedule.
You like Baltimore's schedule over Dallas? Dallas is I'm just going to give in to you, Steve. We need to talk. I don't love our Sibling Showdown drafts this year. I'm a little worried, which means I'm worried about
Andrews is no doubt a better tight end option than Jake Ferguson in regular season, in playoffs, in anything.
I don't know about that. Ema says thin is overrated. Fit comes into all shapes and sizes. That is true. I do need to get back to my 20s and 30s fitness level. Okay, so he did like a Warren for Kraft. Makes sense. That said, I'm married to Petite and I love her. Disclaimer, but Jesus, it gets old listening to the complaints of just being a human. She buried a trash compactor. I just wish I had my metabolism that I had in my 20s. Holy smokes. Did he pick up? Steve said, yeah, when Meg said next week, I'm going to draft off your rankings.
Oh my.
That's next week. Yeah. This Sunday we'll do sprint again. Hopefully we can draft a better team than this. This is Brett says I like him petite and brown. Yeah. Everybody's preference. There you go. Dobbins is always coming off a big injury. That is true.
Yeah.
That's a congrats on sex, Steve, about the shirt. The chat's too funny. Oh, that's right. Everybody's talking. I might need a drink after this. Everybody's drinking.
I definitely do.
Modelo's and tequila. Travis Hunter. We're shooting for upside. Using Meg's ranks. Let me get my way somehow.
All right. But actually, I actually do like Hunter more in the sprint than other contests.
Yeah. We could be done. Oh shit. He's our third week. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
I don't think we should stop at 6 receivers when we have 3 week 7 buys. Fuck. All right, this is what we need to do. We need to get another tight end in this mid area. We could get Chig.
Yeah, let's take Chig.
Stop it too, so we can get 6 running backs. Because as much as I love McCaffrey and Walker, you made us take Aaron Jones and we got boxed out of a good third quarterback. So.
Yeah, but we would have no running back at this point then.
Not necessarily. We could have taken quarterback. We could have taken Baker Mayfield and a running back, and we wouldn't have had a tight end, but that's not the end of the world.
But then we would have had to go 3 tight ends. Chig went.
These are off my ranks. Hunter Henry.
Henry or Strange. I think either one is really good.
7 and 11. I don't love the Pats schedule. I think I like the Jaguars more. But I do love Henry. Oh, they do play Denver week 17 too. So that's kind of fun. And Kansas City week 15. Shout out Best Ball Overlay code Fanspeak for 25% off. Definitely helps in every format, managing your portfolio for sure. Love that. Yeah, Cooler says, I just love the dynamic between Ron and April on the show. Oh my God, absolutely. Now I really want to rewatch Parks and Rec. You were more Parks and Rec. I was more Office. Office is still like my favorite of the two, but I absolutely loved Parks and Rec too. With the classic car crash reaction to the Aaron Jones pick. Yeah, no, when I have to draft off your ranks, it's not going to be great. Steve, usually, okay, trying to say this in a nice way, and it's not going to come out nice, but usually, I freaking love our Sibling Showdown drafts. Like, even though it's stressful doing it in like a, live draft and that kind of stuff, and that's, a little not as good EV. 2 years ago, we had like a 50% advance rate together. I usually love our teams together. I just don't know that I love them as much this year, and I'm worried.
Okay.
Are you worried about my takes, or are you worried about yours? Because clearly
I'm
we're
not worried
totally
about mine.
Not, oh, she reacted to that pick like a kid was trying grapefruit for the first time. A little bit. Oh, I don't believe this. Ferguson is fancy Kate Otten. No. And this part's true. Use the Olds emoji, the Adam Thielen emoji.
But I'm with zero. Like Ferguson is more of a floor than ceiling.
Okay. Let me go by ADP. Spears. We need another running back.
Yeah, no, Spears is fine.
And we got boxed out of all quarterbacks, including Aaron Rodgers. So congratulate. Oh, let's get so weird. I have an idea. Do you know what it is? Read my mind.
I'm scared as hell.
Do you know what it is?
I think I do.
Okay, well, we're down to quarterbacks that, like, I mean, if you want to take Fernando, we can take Fernando, but we're down to quarterbacks that, we don't know when they're playing, basically.
Yeah, I figure you're going to say take Mariota.
Yeah, handcuff it. Yeah, no, like 18th round picks are worthless anyways. We are unless you want to take Fernando next. That's the only other way. Like, I'm not taking Jacoby Brissett. Not going to be starting the playoff weeks. Tua, maybe. Sanders, probably not. Penix, probably not. Watts. I mean, this is crap. This is absolute crap. So it's either Mendoza or we take, and we just say we have the Washington quarterbacks. By the way, I did that just a couple times, like 5 times last year, and I advanced most of them because
I don't think it's as strong in the sprint though, because Mariota doesn't have the same upside that Jaden does.
Yes, he does. He was getting like 30, 40 rushing yards a game. I mean, not the same, but he still has rushing.
He still has a strong floor, but he doesn't have the same upside. Like the whole thesis for Jaden is that he can give you a 30-point game. That's just not going to come from Mariota.
Yes, he did. I think he had at least like a high 20s. Okay, do you want to go Fernando or no?
Let's go Fernando.
I'm going to label this trash. This is draft trash.
Okay.
Emo says Ferg feels a lot less good with healthy Pickens and Lamb. But anytime if they miss any time he gets upgraded. And then I do love the Flournoy. I do love Flournoy too.
Yeah, it's just like Ferguson is a fine tight end. It's just Andrews is better, Goddard's better. Like these guys could be the number 2 options on their team.
But like he says, Ferg does have really good touchdown equity.
Yep. So, I mean, Goddard just had 11 touchdowns. Andrews is one of the best touchdown equities of the last 10 years. Like his red zone role is insane.
Me saying I'm worried about you is my way of saying I'm a dumbass. I mean, yeah, he is a dust bomb. Exactly, Hartman. Trust the ranks. Thank you. I have drafted a couple off the sprint ranks that I stayed up till 2 a.m. doing, and I fucking love those teams. I should stay on for another draft now that Rudy's sleeping. Oh, shit.
Okay, Meg, we're on the clock.
Wait, what are we doing here? We're doing just
let's
2 more.
Let's take Dylan Sampson or Emma Johnson.
Katron Allen might be able to get with the next one.
Yeah. Let's go Dylan Sampson. I think that's fine.
You always got to get the Browns running backs. Yeah.
I mean, any of these guys are
okay. Yeah. One more running back, one more receiver, not by week 7.
Yeah.
I don't like this team at all. As long as it's not 7, which Keon Coleman, perfect upside play by week 7. Who do you want to try? Like a Troy Franklin has upside, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We only have 110, right? Yeah.
Okay. So, oh shit. Katron goes, we should have taken him first. I don't know. I'm just queuing up stuff off my ranks. Minshew took Franklin. Good pick, Hayden. All right, what do you want to do?
I mean, if Braylon's there, I'd take Braylon.
Okay, and then we'll just pick a last round receiver.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Modelo's, we got beer, we got tequila. My first sprint with you fine people. Nice. Oh, priming painting shells. That is a nice Saturday. I hate painting, but shout out to you. That's awesome. Yeah, the competition is getting.
So do you want this team to serve Shador? Oof. You want to just take that one?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Tua, I actually think is fine considering.
Yeah, I was going to push back on the Tua thing because there is a chance that he starts. I mean, Penix is coming off so many injuries.
It doesn't get canceled. I've done it before.
And the Falcons schedule is really good. So
yeah, I do
think Tua is
Oh, Brett got where did Brett take? Yeah, nice. He got A-Rod. That's okay. We should have looked for him. That's around where he should go. I have him ranked higher. So.
We know.
I think she really likes this team. Oops, hold on. I have the thing board not scroll down. I berate you for that. I should do it correctly myself. Okay, 20. Thank you, Matt. 23.26 was Mariota's best game.
Then that's my point. Is he offers a great high floor, but ceiling is not really there.
Oh, do I have 20% Keon Coleman? That's fair. I mean, it's a late round pick. Shador had a 34-point game?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. Okay. Receiver, can't take Keon. What do you want to do?
I mean, I think Pat Bryant is the same argument. I prefer the Franklin side of it, but I think Pat Bryant's the exact same argument.
Okay, let's read this shithole team and then we'll try.
Oh my God.
and then we'll do the fancy team review. So we go 3, 6, 7, 2. Jaden, Bo Nix, Fernando, CMC, Kenneth Walker. Those are basically the only 2 picks I like in this draft. Aaron Jones, Tajay Spears, Dylan Sampson, Braylon Allen. Lad McConkey, Terry McLaurin, JMO, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman, Travis Hunter, Pat Bryant. I do like our receiver room a lot. Mark Andrews, Hunter Henry. So I think structurally we did it right. Like I said, balance it out. Make sure you're covered for bye weeks. We're a little thin by week 7 for receivers. So we did have to go 7 receivers. But other than that, we were watching bye weeks pretty good. And that's why we didn't draft Herbert with Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I don't love it. I really just like, but we did tell. We did stack up the 2 top quarterbacks, and I do like the receiver room and the first 2 running backs. Your thoughts?
I mean, I actually don't think it's obviously near as bad as you think it is. I think quarterback wise, we have potentially 2 top 10 quarterbacks, Jaden and Nix. Nix has been quarterback 7 the last 2 years. Jaden, we saw what he did if he can stay relatively healthy. I think the running back room, it is double anchored, but I think Aaron Jones offers, again, some spike week ability. We know his career. I mean, he's the same age as Christian McCaffrey. They're the same draft.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, maybe a year difference between them, but they're the same draft. Receiver wise, I think is very strong. The top 5 especially, but then tacking on Hunter and Pat Bryant, and Mark Andrews. We know, again, tight ends that have spike week ability. He is absolutely one of them. We've seen it not so much last year, but in years past. I mean, 25, 30-point games. So I like him plus Hunter Henry. So. Another tight end who has a lot of red zone opportunities.
Chad was good. Matt said tossing out the draft so one of your viewers has a better chance. So kind. Brett got a Freiermuth fall. Great Freiermuth price. They're talking about Rodgers went 157, too cheap. This never happens in my rooms. But because we pigeonholed ourselves and need to catch up at running back, we did not get a Rodgers stack, even though we had Pittman. So good job.
I was shooting for Rodgers. I just thought we could get him in the 160s.
You always think he's going to fall, but he doesn't.
We just saw the other night where he went in like the 18th round.
No, that doesn't happen that often.
I know that's the extreme, but like Legion had to take him or whatever. And it was like, he does fall more than you think. You just don't see it because you always take him ahead of ADP.
Yeah, but good job by Brew Crew. Okay, let's do rip through quickly.
See, Zero said he got Rodgers in the 180s last draft.
On a sprint, though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about.
I don't know. It might not be a sprint. Okay. Zero goes 3-5-7-3. Goff, Baker, Geno, Gibbs, Pollard, Ramondre, Catron, Connor. That's right. You got Catron, Pickens, Flowers, Wilson, Waddle, McMillan, Rashid Shaheed, Trey Harris, Laporta, Kelsey, Otten. So, a nice balance 3-5-7-3. Who does he have? Let's see, the Goff and Laporta, and Gibbs like that a ton. Baker and McMillan and Otten, very fun. And then tacked on Geno as a third quarterback. Very strong running back room. Yeah, this is makes a ton of sense, both structurally, stacks all the stuff. We know Zero Shoup. What do you think, Steve? Don't think there's much bye week issue too, which I do think is important. So yeah.
Yeah, who did he have? Kelsey Otten was third tight end. Yeah,
Laporta with Goff.
Yeah, no, I knew Laporta and Kelsey, but I saw there was a third tight end. I couldn't remember who it was. I think it's every room feels very strong. A lot of upside, like we talked about, like some spike week guys, like a Shaheed, I think is huge there. And we didn't totally talk about this, but some of these younger guys, like Trey Harris or rookies, they might not start the year with their peak role, but by the end of the year they could really take over, and you really get paid off that way in this tournament.
Yeah. So Matt, I got to answer Matt's question about Brett says great team, Zero. I absolutely think that is true. You guys should draft against each other, see who's better. That is true. We should do that. Maybe Sunday we'll sprint against each other. How about that? That's a fun idea. Thank you, Cohen Baby. Appreciate that. That's what we're going to do Sunday. We're going to do the YouTube member show. No problem, Zero. We are going to do you and I sprinting versus each other instead of drafting together. But you know what? We are going to come together and draft some better teams together. I really believe in us. Do you?
I think we drafted a fine team.
Okay. I think we are going to have some better drafts together. But no, I look forward to drafting against you this Sunday. Thank you. Okay. So got to answer Matt's question about A-Rod, since I'm, the crazy A-Rod bull. He went over 20 points 3 times last year, but he said like 3, spike weeks essentially, or not, whatever. He had like probably 2 real true spike weeks. But yeah, to answer his question, throw out last year as far as the head coach and the surrounding weapons. Nobody is factoring in the Mike McCarthy factor. When Mike McCarthy has healthy quarterbacks, and I pray to God that he is healthy, Mike McCarthy has top 5 offense, top 10 offenses. I believe they could be a top 10 offense. They added weapons, obviously, with Pittman, Jeremy Bernard, Rico Dowdle, added to the offensive line in the draft. So I am very, very bullish that the reunion with Mike McCarthy and hopefully a big last dance. It's not just the narrative. It's truly the Mike McCarthy factor in adding weapons that I think it's going to be a much better offense. Rodgers still has it. People that say he's cooked are wrong. He still has it. He's always had a good touchdown rate. He still has had a good touchdown rate, but the past 2 years it's been 24, 28 touchdowns. I think it can go back into the 30s. Who knows? Maybe he even has a year like Stafford in the 40s.
But this is where
that's the range of outcomes. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is where the attempts matter. He had a 4.8% touchdown rate that's tied for 11th in the league last year. And honestly, before he had his wrist injury, and it's not just the wrist injury. Remember, DK Metcalf missed the last 2 games due to suspension, and they just did not have the horses, right? Through like 10 weeks, he was like 4th in touchdown rate. He was like rocking a 7% touchdown rate for a long time into the season. That, like high 6s, which is very, very good. Mm-hmm. And I just think, that can continue. He's obviously done this plenty of times in the past. And his attempts should go up by like 100 this year. I think that's a very reasonable projection. This offense is going to be, more aggressive. They're going to throw the ball more. To just lead more to extended drives, more big play opportunities, and also I think just the whole Mike Tomlin. Like, I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's a great NFL coach, but he's super, super conservative. He was very happy to settle for 55-yard Chris Boswell field goals. I don't think Mike McCarthy is going to be doing the same thing.
Agreed. Well said. Terry, good to see you again in here. Joined us the other night during Sibling Showdown. Great to see you. What if Geno and Garrett Wilson is what you need? Okay, so that's right. He has Geno Garrett. Nice. Okay, very, very nice. But no, Zero had a great draft. Pittman Jeremy feels like an upgrade from Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, and Kenny Gainwell was the wide receiver too.
Yeah.
That is absolutely accurate. More likely you throw $5 at Geno and he punches you and settle out of court for 200,000. Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Roger still hunts explosive and deep shots. Absolutely. No, great. Absolutely great point. Matt says, I drafted him a bunch before he signed, cooled off, but still taking a ton of Warren and Pittman. Yeah, absolutely. But I think the stack is worth it, especially, I mean, I'm a 3 QB girl basically in every format, but especially in this format and trying to advance. Hartman says Arthur Smith's best offensive pace was 21 with the Falcons. They ranked 27th last year. Yeah. Hey, Jamie, good to see you.
That year they're ranked 27th in the league, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Great to see you, Jamie. Yeah. Okay. So let's finish up here. That was Zero's team, JT's team, 3663, nice and balanced. Burrow, Shuck, Cousins, again, still helping the advance rate. If you remember my BBM finals, one BBM finals team in BBM 3 wouldn't advance. Dak got hurt the first 6-7 games of the season, wouldn't advance without Carson Wentz, who was benched. So sometimes it is the quarterback that plays the front half of the year too, just to help in advancement. Hendo, nice upside there. Gainwell, Chris Rodriguez, Sean Tucker, Tank Bigsby, Mike Washington, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Michael Wilson, Trey Tucker, and then Brock Bowers, Juwan Johnson, and Mike Gesicki. I wouldn't have thrown the third tight end there just for the stack. I probably would have honestly maybe beefed up the receiver running back room a little more. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Steve? Because he had Bowers Juwan.
Yeah.
I think Bowers Juwan.
Yeah. I mean, I think with Bowers, like you got to kind of ride or die with him. I actually like Gesicki in this format more because he's only going to hit a couple weeks, but they could be 20-point games. He's got that, 2 touchdown ability, especially if like Higgins or Chase were to miss any time. He's essentially the third wide receiver on the team, only plays a handful of plays though. So I agree with you, like whether I would have thrown it at running back or receiver, I think you could have made a case either way.
I mean, he had 5 receivers in the top 98, so I probably would have thrown it at running back. But that's just me. Other than that, I think it's a strong team.
Very well stacked up.
Very well correlated and stacked up. Shuck with Olave and Juwan Johnson, I like that a ton. I probably just would like a little more projectable volume at the running back position, but I think there's enough built in there. I think this team is going to need to obviously rely on the flex coming from the receiver room, and that's fine. It's I like Gesicki. I like Gesicki. It was more like the third tight end on a Bowers Juwan Johnson team. I still like Gesicki, even though they do have a bunch of tight ends like Eric Hall is coming back.
But I actually like Gesicki more in the sprint because it just takes that one spike week to count.
Matter. Yeah, absolutely. But very fun, JT. Let's check out Aiden's team 3573. Nice and balanced. Hurts, Murray, Tua, who we were kind of debating, but I think is a valid third quarterback. Bijan, Swift, Daddle, Algier, Brian Robinson, Nico, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Josh Downs, Concepcion, Troy Franklin. That's right. Troy Franklin, who we talked about, Jalen Noel, Pitts, Chig, and Helm. So I think that is a very nice and balanced team. He has trying to see if you don't get stacks, especially with running quarterbacks like Hurts or Murray, I don't think that's as big of a deal. Obviously he's got Tua and Bijan. He's got Devonta Smith. I'm sorry. And he also has Pitts and Bijan with Tua. So a stacked, balanced, really like the running back room, projectable volume, especially with your first 3 picks. So I think this is a really solid team. Any thoughts for Aiden, Steve?
No, I think it's very well built, a lot of upside, and again, just formats like I do like how Pitt's more in the, like we saw it last year. It just takes one game from him. These tight ends who have that ability to maybe put up the 25 burgers or more. I don't think we can count on a 50 spot or a 40 spot, but I think there's a little extra value for these guys because it just takes one of those weeks in the sprint time frame to pay off. So I actually like that, and I like having Tua with it because I think there's a 20% chance Tua plays all year. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with you on that. Legion goes 3-7-6-2. So May, Stafford, Danny Dimes, like that. Kyron, Bucky, Dobbins, Mason, Emmett Johnson, Ray Davis, Vidal, Puka, AJ Brown, Alec Pierce, Jordan Addison, Khalil Shakir, Debo Samuel, and then Loveland Barner. So I definitely think Loveland Barner works. 3, I think, stacked quarterbacks because he's got Puka and Stafford, AJ Brown, and May. And so he stacked his first 3 receivers. I like that a ton. Didn't go as heavy receiver, but I don't mind that. Do have 2 bye week 11s and you don't know where Debo's at. That's the only, whatever. I maybe would have gone 3-6-7-2, but since you have Kyron, Bucky, Dobbins, at least that's nice projectable volume. But if you're going to throw volume at one position more than another, I do believe in running back over receiver. So I like this team and like how it's stacked too. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be a very, very strong room. And, May, Stafford, like we said, like the double bye weeks and the same thing, it is a slight knock, but we're talking about the guys who finished quarterback 2 and quarterback 3 last year. They come anywhere close to that again this year. This team's cooking. And just 2 real offenses that we get excited about. So, the 7 running backs, I think were, generally needed and a good way to approach how you built this out.
Yeah, absolutely. We usually do, Matt, Fanspeak fam team reviews, but since it's first time, we'll give a quick team review, but $3.99 to join the Fanspeak fam YouTube members. If you're interested, click join. We do the emojis, team reviews. We have a team contest tracking all the data and 2 extra shows per week on Sundays if you're interested. But we'll give a quick review. Appreciate a new person joining us today. 2673 Lawrence Dart, and then JT, Achan, Tootin, Warren, Sharbs, Blue, and then, Drake London, T-Mac, Parker Washington, Jaden Higgins, Steph Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Dontavian Wicks, Isaiah Likely, Brenton Strange, and Terrence Ferguson. He's got Lawrence stacked up with, Tootin, Parker, Washington, and Strange. I love stacking at different positions. And then he's got, Dart, Dart, the running quarterback. Oh, Likely. Sorry, my bad. I love the Dart Likely stack a lot. My only note would be I would have gone 3 quarterbacks over 3 tight ends. I would have been fine, honestly, with Likely and Strange. I think there's some fun upside to Terrence Ferguson, but I probably just would have gone 3 not obviously the different spot unless it was late. I would have gotten a third QB, but that's me. I really do lean into that in general, but especially in this. But other than that, I like his team and like the stacks. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not everyone in a 12-man draft can get 3 quarterbacks. So I think you're fine with Lawrence Dart. And this would be to the point that you're making about Mariota. I actually would be more okay with Winston as the handcuff quarterback because he does have a ceiling that Mariota does not have. So I would be a little bit more okay from that perspective if you did feel the need to get just some insurance, just particularly because of Dart's blue tent free pass, all access pass that he has.
Okay, well, hopefully it's better this year because I have been drafting quite a bit of Dart. King of QC 2583. He goes Dak Love. I do love 3 quarterback builds. Those are fun. Two quarterbacks there. James Cook, Jacobs, Corum, Woody Marks, Claiborne, Lamb, Neighbors, Watson. So he has Dak stacked up with obviously Lamb and Ferguson later, and Watson, who we had discussed, and Jacobs stack. So nice team stacks there. Lamb, Neighbors, Christian Watson, Jordan Tyson, Chris Godwin, Juwan Jennings, Zachariah Branch, Darnell Mooney, Jake Ferguson, Kenyon Sadiq, and Greg Dulcich. 2583. I honestly probably would have gone 2673. I think your receiver room is exceedingly strong. Maybe it was because of Neighbors. I think you have 5 receivers by by Godwin. So I probably would have gone 3-6-7-3, but other than that, and then I probably would have gone 3-6-7-2, but no, those are two fun quarterbacks to stack up. But that's the way I like to
I actually think he probably needed the 8. There's just a lot of uncertainty and injury history in that receiver room. Guys like Christian Watson, guys like Tyson, guys like Godwin, plenty of injuries there. So I think having some extra depth there is appropriate.
Yeah, and I guess as long as Jacobs is okay, James Cook, Jacobs, and Corm's going to get some. Woody Marks is going to get some. Yeah, so no, that's fair. Okay, no, that's a fun team, King of QC, and definitely super fun stacks. And offenses, Dak is literally my favorite offense to target, my favorite. And then we talked about how Packers may have one tough game at the end, but the other two are decent. Brew Crew 3-5-7-3. So we did the double leap, but then, took the Aaron Rodgers. He listened to me. Get that Aaron Rodgers. Still get 3 quarterbacks. 3-5-7-3. Allen, Lamar, Rodgers. Love that. Hampton, Henry, Javonte, Harvey, Coleman. Oh, and he handcuffed too. Oh my God. A+. Brian Thomas Jr., Ricky Pearsall, Golden, Coker, Tesla, Jeremy Bernard, Elijah Surratt, Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, and Pat Fryermuth. So yeah, he got all. So Allen, he's got Lamar and Henry. Love soaking up all the touchdowns there. Allen and Kincaid and Surratt. Thank you. And then Rodgers, Jeremy, and Pat Fryermuth. I freaking love this team.
Yeah, no,
it's got a lot of my favorite players.
Well, he also, it's going to be super unique because both Allen and Lamar went past ADP. So there's going to be very few Allen Lamar teams as is, but from the 12th hole, I imagine almost none. And then I do think having Rodgers there is a way to make it even more unique and to help push it through. For sure. And this is one of those things, even if you go to the end of the year and Rodgers doesn't count a single game, I still think it's a smart, structurally sound pick because, he'll have usable weeks. It's just, they might not come in weeks where Allen or Jackson have more down weeks. So overall, really like how it's built out. The receivers, you need some of those guys like BTJ to get back to where we know he can be. But if he does, this team, I think, becomes very, very fun.
Yeah. All right, Steve, you jump into another one. I'm going to head out. I'm going to put the link in the pin chat too for our Substack. 20% off, less than $30 a year. Link in the description. Link will be in the chat in just a minute. We hope you guys check that out. We hope you guys are enjoying this because we on our Substack Sprint article that we went over early in the show, Sprint rankings. We're going to have 2 Sprint shows for our YouTube members on Sunday. Sprint. Hopefully, glad everybody enjoyed the AI thumbnail as well. But this has been a ton of fun going over, the sprint rankings, our sprint strategies, and doing a sprint draft. Even though I didn't love it, I loved hanging out with you guys at the chat and you, Steve. So, Steve, I'll let you take over from there. You bring over your underdog screen. You have some fun.
Hold on 1 second. It's loading.
No problem. I'm gonna put the Substack in the description. While you're doing that. So Steve will be jumping in another, and if there's enough likes, maybe he'll jump in another. So hit the like button. Let me see where we're at on likes, actually. Let me see here. 26 likes. I don't know if you want to set a like goal for a third draft, Steve, but appreciate you, Zero.
We're going to get this started, and then we'll see where we're at.
Okay, yeah. So you're at 26 likes now, but enjoy, have fun, guys. And we will be back for our YouTube members tomorrow night, 9:30. Sprint versus sprint. That thumbnail, but Steve and I are sprinting to the finish to see who's better. And then we'll have the chat vote. What do you think, Steve?
Yep.
All
Did
right. You put my sprint rankings in?
I've not yet. I think I'm going to go without. I will use them eventually. I want to feel my own vibes with this one.
Steve, how are we going to sell the Substack if you're not even using my rankings? This is hurt. I'm hurt. Clip this. I'm so hurt, Steve. You better. You're gonna upload my rankings, right?
Yeah, at some point.
Okay, I'm hurt. All right, love you guys. Love you, Steve. Have a good rest of the day. I'm out of here.
All right. Brett gifted a membership. Somebody, thank you so much, Brett. Please let me know. I can't see from chat here who got it, so please let me know who got it. We are going to count.
Did you call me?
Well, yeah, Brett gifted a membership.
Oh, thank you, Brett. That's awesome. Let's see who that went to. Let me hit the refresh. Da-da-da-da-da. Appreciate you, Brett. We're hitting refresh on that now. I'm sorry, the AI thumbnail makes me want to. I'm dying laughing.
Mike Rob said it was Red McMuffin. So
yes,
congrats,
yes.
Red McMuffin.
Red McMuffin again. Yeah, YouTube Memby show tomorrow. Memby shows tomorrow night. But big thank you to Brett. Thank you. Much appreciated. All right, it was like I heard you say wait, and I came back. Did you miss me?
I did.
Okay.
It's
Bye, guys.
like Beetlejuice.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. See you later.
All right. I'm going to enter this draft. I'm going to count it down 10 seconds to enter the Frenchie sprint. Counting down, entering 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. Yes, rock and roll. Let's ride. Let's see how we do. Appreciate everyone for jumping in. Another friends and family draft. We got cards. We got Zero. We got Brew Crew, King QC, Cheese, Losimo, JT, Minsu. Oh boy, not the first 9 picks. If anyone's in these last 3, let me know. If not, good luck. So this is going to be a fun one. Got the 3 spot. I do tend to agree Bijan is probably the better option. That would be my initial order. For the sprint, I'm happy with any of these 3 guys. Slayton saying, how the heck am I missing these? Yeah, I think we know some people in the lobby. For me, Slayton, I think most people say, usually when you hear me say 8 or 7, that is when to click enter. Way better for my EV. Oh my. But yeah, I get it. No, you're in. Cards, you're in here. So I hope you knew that you were in here. So I take Chase. I'm going to put some music on in the background as well. Holy sharks. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, guys. But no, I appreciate everyone for doing this. The only thing that I would have loved for them to change for the sprint this year would have been to maybe make it a 3 of 12 advance. And you'd have to tweak some other things. I get that. But I think that could have been fun to make it more of a 3 of 12 advance into a bigger, pod. But that could have been interesting. And Meg shouting out our Substack, 20% off. It is now less than $30 a year. So appreciate everyone who has checked that out. And, we have our best ball guide there that really, I think, is a great asset for anyone drafting, particularly drafting with volume. Mike, who is tracking all these drafts, says, F you all, this is too much. Bijan at 3 last time was a godsend. As I think Zero said, that is not going to be the norm. I started at 10. Left my ass off, not testing it. Join on 7 is the meta. Yeah. That is my evil twin. Wait, that is not you cards? Seriously? No, that has to be you. Okay. Overflowed it. Good luck all. Oh, Paul missed one of our drafts. That is a rare occasion. I'm clicking at 10. It's not meant to be. My evil twin loves to snipe. Steve is in his element now, not needing to pull up Lad and Scat 2 rounds. I mean, I don't mind pulling up Lad, honestly. Scataboo, yeah, it can be a little bit too much. She was going to come in and turn on the music. Wow. No respect. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield. All right, on the clock here. I'm going to take Bowers. I share Meg's opinion that tight end is not as important and this is why we mentioned this during the reviews. Like, I think I don't know how many of these I'll get in and if they'll run others, but of the sprints I do, I'm going to say pretty much anytime I take Bowers, and I don't know how much McBride I'll get, but probably Loveland as well. And maybe even Warren and Kraft. Those are going to be 2 tight end teams. Just that helps make up for the extra capital used at the position. So we will go here. Charles A-Chain. Saints have a fun playoff schedule for sure. And I like the balance here. Like, you can make the case for maybe Devonta or Chris Olave, but I wanted a running back through the first 3 rounds. So let's go back to the board here. Not anything too crazy that I'm seeing. And Hampton getting pulled up to the first round, I guess, is a bit, but I do love their play schedule. I love the offense. I love the upside. So I get it. But nothing else too offbeat. I guess Genty getting pulled up you don't see too often, but Raiders I think have a great playoff schedule. I know some people are down on Genty. I know like Josh and Hayden were talking about it. I think one thing they're overlooking. They mentioned Tyler Lindenbaum, but I think they're overlooking the fact that they had 2 other offensive linemen that missed 7 or more games last year, and that's a significant factor. And they were probably their 2 best offensive linemen, Colton Miller and Jackson Powers-Johnson. So it's like the lesser argument of the Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers guys who missed time, Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, are better. But Raiders losing their 2 best offensive linemen for the majority of the season last year, because I think Colton Miller missed like 12 games, 11, 12 games, something like that. He got hurt pretty early. I believe it was in the Bears game. I don't know if he came back at the end of the year. I can't remember right now. Regardless, they both missed significant time. And that was a factor. There's no question about that to me. So I think the Raiders offensive line is better this year. The offensive system is better this year. The quarterback play is better this year. That just gives scoring opportunities. And yeah, Brew Crew, nice pick with Scattaboo. I did not assume that I was going to get him back. I'm going to go David Montgomery here. I like Mike Evans, but I don't want to get behind at running back. Monty, I think, is just always going to be live for 2 touchdowns. And I think he is a fine pick at, mid 40s here. So I'm now sitting at 2-1-1. Chase and Bowers both have the ability to be the 1-1 of their positions, the top guy. So we'll see. I don't mind JMO. Definitely don't mind Devontae. I think I'd go Travion, though. While I still could see Ramondre getting more total points, Travion is just that guy who could put up a 30-point game in these sprints and be somebody you just almost have to need. Got Steve to do a Chase Bowers start, telling you it's fun doing it once in a while. I do, and I like it in these. Not that I knew for sure that's how it was going to play out, but Chase is going to be kind of like my anchor wide receiver. Had the right guys been there, or not the right running backs been there, it's probably the bigger issue. I maybe could have had 2 or even 3 receivers by this time, but I liked what I was getting in Monty and Hendo. And so Chase being an anchor wide receiver, that's as good as it gets. in my book. And Brock Bowers, he had multiple. He only played about half the year, and even a little bit more. But even some of those games, he was not 100%. He still had 2 30-ish point games last year. He's just got a level of spike week upside that basically nobody else has at the tight end spot right now. I mean, he could. I know some people said, could he lead the league in targets? I don't think so, but I think he leads the tight ends in targets, particularly in McBride's case with the, they're not going to throw near as much. That should be fairly clear at this point. So Burrow did go, didn't get him back. That would have been good. Don't mind taking like a Jaden, but he doesn't get back. Not loving this range, that is for sure. I will pull up DK Metcalf. In general, I think Marv is fine in this area. I just hate him for sprint. If it is the Carson Beck show, that doesn't feel great. I could have done Hurts. It was definitely in the mix for me. I think I am not wanting to get too far behind at quarterback. I'm going to take Justin Herbert. I know stacks are going to be thin options there. Maybe, I do take Gadsden if the price is right. But even without Herbert, I think it's fine to have him unstacked. I love the offensive potential for the Chargers this year. So I am okay being above board on Herbert. Trevor Lawrence would have been in consideration. Dak's in consideration, even though Dak would have been unstacked as well. I think Herbert offers a little bit more ceiling than Dak, just because I think he could run a little bit more. Say snap was wild. They were coming in at the standpoint of Genty being able to outperform RB5, which is fair, but his single game ceiling and touch count will be insane. Yeah, no, and I get that though they were down on him at his ADP price, because I want to say Hayden has him as like RB16 or something like that, and I just kind of disagree that I think there's enough, because their point was like A-Chain should be. Devon A-Chain should be better than him. And it's like A-Chain's situation is, unquestionably worse. Like he loses his play caller. Offensive line isn't great. Loses any other weapon on the team with any threat to keep defenses honest. And he gets a quarterback who, instead of check down Charlie Tua, could be running and actually steal some opportunities from him. So I still like A-Chain, don't get me wrong, but I think, if we're talking like bad offenses, bad situations, I kind of lean, I'm way more bullish on the Raiders upside with Genty than A-Chain. I get Devon A-Chain's track record. I think he's a super talented back, but he's got a lot working against him. So it was more like the inconsistency of the argument that I questioned. I understood them saying, and if you want, and not necessarily for a sprint, but somebody saying like, oh, I like, Barkley better, or I like Hampton better because of their just offensive systems being better. Totally on board, and especially with Hampton, because while both guys are getting up, theoretical upgrades in play calling, we know Mike McDaniel's play calling. We don't know Sean Mannion's play calling, so we definitely know the upside there. Wow. This is a little surprising. Okay, Dak goes. Lawrence goes. Okay. I will go Chris Godwin. And anyways, I just think Genty, there is a real bull case there that I just think they weren't given enough credence to. I do think his workload is going to be very fun, and I think they're just going to be able to utilize him in ways they couldn't last year. They got so far behind in so many games last year. The offense was so terrible. We will go. I like Worthy here just from, some potentially more spike week ability. Go back to the board. Oh, my Saints double one past ADP and another at ADP. Let's go. Fun start. You're helping me diversify at least. You're welcome. Trying to mix in a little Parker now just in case I'm wrong. Yeah, I guess I have such a tough time with Parker Washington. And I think of any contest, this is the one that I really fear, because I think the way he pays off his ADP overall is just like volume and consistency. And he's just week in, week out is getting you like 15 points, consistently being, like the first or second target. And sure, some weeks like he's conceding it to Brian Thomas, some weeks he's conceding it to Jacoby Myers, but consistently he's just hitting there. I know he had a couple of spike weeks last year. I'm just not sure if that materializes this year with this receiver room. And I have a tough time believing Hunter's not the one stealing work from him. Like for whatever Hunter plays, whether Hunter plays 10 offensive snaps a game, 20 offensive snaps a game, 40 offensive snaps a game, I think the majority of those come from Parker Washington. If it's 10, okay, that's okay. Like he loses 6 snaps. But if it is like 30 or 40, he could be losing 15 to 20 snaps, which then becomes a significant loss to him. And I think just really kills the ceiling case, the spike week case. I think they're definitely underrating Kubiak in their Genty analysis. Look at what he did for Kamar, and yeah, that's where I'm at zero. I think you and I are seeing it the same way. Is it just felt like, and I've talked about this with Who Haynes before, like the Raiders offense last year was as embarrassing as it gets. And as Who Haynes know, that like first Chiefs game, they had like 100 yards. They were so bad. Let's see here. I think I'm going to chase some ceiling here with Kyler. And I don't mind Concepcion. Normally I'd say Kelsey for my next pick. But I think I can wait for my second tight end with Bowers. Zero takes Baker. That if Kyler had been gone, it would have taken Baker, but I like getting the Kyler fall there. Dubs, I don't think it's terrible. Shuck, I do have A-Chain, and could maybe get Juwan Johnson later. I'll go Romeo though. I think is getting a 5th wide receiver here feels good. Yeah, there've been a couple. Like overall, I really like Josh and Hayden. I know them a little bit. Met Josh a couple times at Senior Bowls in years past. Really good guys, really nice. But I'm a little off on some of their takes. I found it interesting. They, kept bringing up, like, they've had multiple videos on talking about the Chris Rodriguez injury. They haven't talked about the JCM injury, and I understand JCM is already technically back, but it was just interesting that they haven't brought that up at all, and it just feels like, they're not ignoring it, but not giving it the same level of scrutiny as maybe some others, and maybe in part because Washington beat reporters have barely talked about it, just ignoring the fact that he basically only practiced one single day in all of minicamp. And I don't even think it was like full go. So yeah, just a lot that I feel like I'm a little bit more seeing things a little differently from them in some areas. Dolphins, Tua, Miami. This is a rebuilding year. I mean, their entire receiver room is a bunch of rookies, and not even high level rookies. Like Chris Bell probably misses a bunch of the year. The other two rookie receivers, whose names are escaping me off the top of my head. I mean, one was not expected to be anywhere near drafted in the third round. Texas Tech guy. Why can I not think of his name? But regardless, their receiver room, and sure, they could still pick up a Debo or Diggs or something, but it just feels like every snap, A-Chain is going to have like 9 guys in the box. Paying more for players not on the roster than those suiting up for 20. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Dolphins. What is this ADP order? So wrong. Sneaky Pete. Kubiak is a wow jump for the passing game. I mean, just in, like, let me make this pick. Let's see what Brew Crew leaves me. All right, running back, it's not great, so I'm going to just go Shaheed here. I do think he's got some real spike week ability. Definitely going 6 running backs, I think, at this point. Chig could be tight end 2. If need be. Some other options, I feel like. But I think Zero takes Chig, but I think we're going to take Sam Darnold here, get third quarterback, another stack, and yeah, I think they throw the ball more this year, so I think that ends up fine. We'll see. Maybe I get a tight end in the next round. Yeah, the thing with the Raiders is so many drives. I mean, Geno just killed drives left and right. Those interceptions, just 3 and outs. Cousins, I don't care what you think on Cousins. I don't care what you think on Mendoza. It's got to be better than last year. And even if you think Geno was just in an unfair situation because the bad offense coordinator and everything, maybe that's the case. But I actually think Cousins / Mendoza are probably better than Geno. So I think you're getting an upgrade there, upgrade along the O-line, and definitively a massive coordinator upgrade. So I just think their opportunities for points are going to be so much higher. And this goes for Bowers also, like Bowers and Genty. The games that they hit were the games where they got 2-3 touchdowns because they could really dominate. But that was kind of the peak that the Raiders could do. They're just going to have more games where they can do that. And same with Trey Tucker. It's like one game against Washington was a 3-touchdown game. I just think this team is going to be able to score and score more consistently this year. So I think the Genti had over 200 points last year. As a rookie, we considered it a really down year. And yeah, sure, down for pick 12 last year, but his 200 points was better than a lot of running backs. It was like 217. It was better than a lot of running backs out there. So, if we're going to believe that these other running backs are going to take a step or make a jump, why not? Why can't Genti put up 250, 260? I don't know if he's got like 300 points, like, Saquon 2 years ago, but I could see him in the 250s. Tight end a little picked over for my liking. Let me take Brian Robinson. So I'm done at quarterback. If Zeke falls back, I think I wanted to do only 2 tight ends and them having the same bye. I don't think that works. So I think I'd just take AJ Barner and be done at tight end. Just 2 positions to go. It looks creative than even the Browns. Exactly. I mean, it was so bad. I just think it's going to be I don't expect them to be like a top 10, even top 15 offense, but even them being the 24th best offense, or like the 24th offense, is just such a jump from where it was a year ago. And who does that benefit the most? Genti and Bowers. Or I think the Dolphins. Dolphins or Browns. If I had to pick worst offense, those are my 2 choices. Jets kind of close also. And Cards. Those are the ones that I don't feel good about at all. And I know missed some comments before. I think it was Zero talking about, was it the Cards, 3 cards taken before a single Steeler? Just makes 0 sense. Same with the Browns. Now Fannon's gone down, but at one point it was 2 rounds before a Steeler, and it was like, why are we doing this? Left Sadiq for Charles, but I'll take him. But I have too many rookies already. So running back, receiver from here on out. I think I'm taking 2 more running backs, 1 more receiver with these final 3 picks. And I will do another draft after this. I know Meg said it like gold, but I'm just going to be kind and do it. I need to get some volume down. Let's go. All right, up in a couple picks. No tight end, going running back or receiver. Berger makes my decision easier for me. I mean, obviously would love to get both, but Emma Johnson, I saw, what was it, the comparison, Andy Reid compared to LaShawn McCoy. I actually think that's a very fair comparison. McCoy may have a little bit more burst, but I think the ability to contribute in the passing game, make some short area movements to get some extra yards, I like it. Interesting to see Stribling fall so much. I think theoretically this is actually the best contest for him, because if he's going to hit, it's probably going to be late, right? I will take George Holani here. Now, he's not a late option, but early on, he'll push this team through, especially through, my top two backs having a week 8 bye. I do have 3 11s, but overall, I think it's fine. 11, I'm a little over. I feel like I'm a little overexposed to in total portfolio, where like week 8 is fine because my flex can come from the receiver room then. Yeah, the thumbnail is ridiculous. Good to see you. Couldn't leave AD 0. Not going to take a lot of Jets, but Mitchell at 191, particularly in a contest like this, it just takes one big spike week. Dribbling to the point that I was saying earlier is I think rookies are a little better in this contest. Rookies, the post-buy rookie bump, and it's mainly just late season rookies. And then Stribling, the thesis of him is, what happens with injury. Well, I think that just even plays out more in this. Not that the early part of the season isn't important, but I would feel better about Stribling probably particularly at 196. I think that's where he should go. But I'd even be a little bit more willing to take him higher in this contest because you're just betting on somebody to get injured, and he just needs 1 week in that time frame to kind of pay off. So we'll see how much I take him. I really don't have any Stribling in post draft. He's just gone too high for me. If he's in the 190s, then I will get a little interested. He's third-year rookie on a terrible Jets offense, but I actually do like him. I will trash him, but the thing that I keep saying is like Garrett Wilson and Cooper Jr. are very similarly built and utilized wide receivers. Z's and slot. That's where they should line up. They're not X's. And so I just think he's going to have, even in 2 wide receiver sets, I think he's out there above one of those guys, not every snap, but a good chunk of the time. And even in some one wide receiver sets, it's probably him. Every now and then it's going to be Garrett Wilson. But I think it'll be him some, just for his size. Need to go receiver here. I am going to I'm going to go Ted Hurst. Has some vertical ability, could spike. Late season rookie. So definitely an anchor wide receiver build for me. Chase, and then still got 4 in the top 100 technically. Metcalf, Godwin, Xavier Worthy, Romeo Doubs, Shaheed, and Hurst. Not the greatest wide receiver room, but I think I can cobble together enough. I'm going to need Hendo, particularly in the sprint portion of this, to really come through. But went 6 running backs and talked through that. 3 quarterbacks. Didn't get the stacks for Herbert or Kyler. Don't love that, but I also don't care. Their spike weeks are their spike weeks. That's what's going to matter most. And if they're spiking in the playoffs, sure, you'd love for them to bring somebody along, but they don't necessarily have to, given their profiles. And I'd rather have guys with that potential than the perfectly correlated quarterback who doesn't spike. And then Bowers and Barner feels good. Let me do the board so Mike can get this entire draft. And then I will review everyone's team, which is a lot. So we will go quick. Not sure. Cheese is a YouTube member. And maybe not even in chat. If you're in chat, please shout it out. Let me know. But we do have cards. Let's see. I think Brew Crew 0. So I think it's Brew Crew 0, King QC, Losimo, JT, and Minsu are the YouTube members, I believe. Please let me know if I'm wrong on that, and I will start reviewing them in a second. But I want to thank everyone for jumping in and joining. Nice. Went for a walk to get beer and drafted on the way. Very nice. All right, let's go through these teams, starting with 0, and then we'll get into another draft after this. 0, 3, 4, 8, 3. Baker, Stroud, Tua. I like that quarterback room for waiting. I think there's still a lot of potential there. Bijan, Breece Hall, Bucky Irving, Kyle Monangai. Stopping at 4 by getting 4 in the top 100. In Monangai having the same buy is a little less EV, but overall, I think it's fine. Nico, Luther Burden, Marv, Parker Washington, Jaden Higgins, Jalen McMillan, Mitchell, and Brandon Ayuk. Taking the Brandon Ayuk, potential lotto ticket at 215. Sure, when he was going in the 150s, 160s, 170s, that was crazy. 215, take that shot. Sam Laporta, Chika Okonkwo, and Kenyon Sadiq. And Sadiq, the nice ball there. So, strong. I think strong team across the board. Every room you see the upside. Laporta, Chig, and even Sadiq. Nico, Burden. I mentioned the concern about Marv, the concern about Parker. I still think you want some shares of them. The contest I'm actually drafting a lot of Parker Washington is in the field general. I just think the price is a little better there. How it plays out. Also, obviously you've already taken Trevor Lawrence at that point, so then it's like, okay, I'm stacking it then. But I think he, to me, works best in the field general just because you only need to start 2 wide receivers. So him is like my 3rd or 4th wide receiver there. Feels good. Whereas opposed to here, him as your 3rd, 4th wide receiver. I personally have some more questions, but I do need to get some more of him. Jane Higgins, Jalen McMillan. These guys young guys, Mitchell, same thing. Young guys just have the potential for a greater role this year. All right, next, recruit 3573. Lawrence, Stafford, Bryce Young, 3 starting quarterbacks. Lawrence, big time upside. Stafford, even if we're not expecting anything like last year, still can be a top 12, top 10 guy. And Bryce Young, got a little fall there. Just even if it's his advancement piece. We've seen a spike week here or there from him in his career, so I think it's fine. But even as an advancement piece, I think it's big. Luke Tootin, Tony Pollard, Andre Stevenson, Katron Allen. I should really like that running back room. I'm not a Tootin fan. I think he's a little overpriced, but with Scadaboo, with Pollard, with Ramondre, I think you're super well covered. Even if Tootin ends up being a bad pick, and Katron, I think it's a fine click. And if Tootin, if you're right on Tootin can pay off this ADP, then this running back room is just insanely good. Receiver, Puka, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Then waited a good chunk because you had 3 that you felt really good with. Wandale, Trey Harris, Stribling, and like we talked about, the 2-round fall there. And Chris Frizzell. Chris Frizzell is a guy, I've talked about before, and also I know you stacked him up with Bryce Young. But kind of exactly what we're looking for in this kind of contest. A rookie week to week, early in the season, first 10 weeks, we might not hear Chris Brazell's name called at all. But down the stretch, he gets a couple of deep shots. Maybe is that 2 touchdown game that really spikes for you. And likely Goddard, Strange, nice tight end room. I mean, everyone feels good, big time upside and potential for all three. So I like how this team came together, and of course, stacking up like Luka Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, and Strange. Those feel like really good stacks also. Next we have King QC. Second. QC sitting in here at a 3.672. Jaden Dak, Daniel Jones, Genty. We talked about this. Like, he pulled him up, and I think doing it some, especially again for this, like the Raiders playoff schedule. He's week 1 Denver, Tennessee, Arizona. That feels good. I mean, Denver could be tough, but it's probably a game they're going to need to be competitive in. And then the other two I think are very, very doable. Like games where they can really produce. Chuba, Jacoby, Krusky Merritt, Tyron Tracy, Dylan Sampson, Marshawn Lloyd. So it's an anchor running back build. Maybe you're getting starters in Chuba and JCM, Tracy and Sampson, 2 good, satellite backs, and then Lloyd, potentially handcuff, or like a contingent play, I should say. Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Jameson Williams, Josh Downs. So 4 starting receivers that we feel good about. Travis Hunter, draft with Meg. Flournoy, I think, is a very good pick. Cowboys are going to be one of the teams who are in 3 wide receiver sets more than a lot. And he was just impressive down the stretch last year. He outplayed Jalen Tolbert. He had some nice solid games for them. And then Darnell Mooney, so that I like him as a pick as well. 2 tight ends, Trey McBride, Gunnar Helm. McBride, not my favorite. I think when, I don't know how many teams are going to draft in this, but we'll want a couple Trey McBride teams, and I think this is how you do it. 2 tight ends, him and Helm, and you just got to hope, probably hope that Jacoby Brissett's still starting. It's not like Carson's back. Losamo, 3.573. Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Michael Penix. Penix is definitely draftable in this, and betting on Tua's injury is always a fair bet. JT, Kenneth Walker, Jadarian Price, Jonathan Brooks, Aaron Jones. Upside potential of 5 starting running backs, so that's very few teams are going to have that, including potentially RB1 and Jonathan Taylor, Rashee Rice, Tedero McMillan, Devontae Adams, Alec Pierce, Khalil Shakir, Debo, Jaron Bernard. So, you need things to go your way in this wide receiver room. Obviously, Rice, stay out of trouble, stay out of jail, and not get suspended. I think it's a big one. You need Alec Pierce, the injury thing, to go your way, and you need Debo to be a good landing spot. But if 2 of those 3 break your way, this is a very, very good wide receiver room. All 3 do. It's fantastic. That's kind of the way I look at it. And then a tight end room of Jake Ferguson, a nice little round fall, Juwan Johnson, and Cade Otton, also a round falling value there. So, I think each room feels good. Quarterback the thinnest, just because you're potentially only having 2 starters and neither one with a big rushing upside, particularly this season. That being said, I think Mahomes and Rodgers can both stack up a lot of 25-ish point games. I don't know if you're going to see many 30-point games from either one. And that's the one kind of weakness when you get into the sprint, is you might not have those spike weeks. But you also could run into a situation where there aren't that many big-time quarterback scores. And if that's the case, then maybe you're still totally fine. And then I think we had JT and Minsu is the last two. JT3672, and please let me know if I'm missing anyone else from Gainer Review. We got Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Fernando Mendoza. This is kind of similar to what Meg and I did in the other draft, like 2 starters we feel really good about, a lot of upside, potential even higher than the ones we did, and then tacking on Mendoza for that great playoff schedule. Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, older running backs, but could be RB1 and 2. Henry doesn't have a big time passing upside, but this guy gets touchdowns like nobody else. And we're potentially getting a Ben Johnson version offense. Quite a few rushing touchdowns from the Lions and Bears the last couple of years, and those were split backfields. Henry might not have that split role. Like, it could be similar rushing, numbers and rushing touchdown numbers, and it could be 80% Henry in as opposed to the split that we saw. Honestly, probably more 90% Henry. Not like 90% total carries, but in terms of like high value touches, particularly in around the red zone. Rico as a third is great. And then you waited. Mike Washington, Ray Davis, Jordan James. Jordan James gave me some CMC insurance. Then 2 other guys who should be, at least contingent plays on their teams. DJ Moore with Josh Allen. Love that. Jayden Reed, Matthew Golden. It's Caleb, not Jordan Love, but so double tapping the Packers. Packers wide receiver room got much tighter rotation, I feel like, with Wicks and Dubs gone and nobody really replacing them. So very, very easy path for both these guys to be hitting. Same thing with the Raiders. Like, one of these guys should hit. Chance both do as well. Jalen Coker in the mix, and Xavier Thomas, not somebody I'm really doing. As camp hits, I might need to reevaluate where I am. I just didn't have a big pre-draft grade on him. Explosive player, mainly in special teams. I think he'll absolutely have a role there. I just don't know if he's getting on the field above even Khalif Raymond. That I worry about, but I get it. End of the draft, you have Caleb. Come on, see what you got there. Colson Loveland, Harold Fannin. I know there's been a little positive buzz about Xavier Thomas. Easily stopping at 2 tight ends there. Not my favorite click. I love him as a player, but don't love taking a Browns tight end that high. But I get it. Like, if the role, and in particular with them drafting 2 receivers, but we saw his upside last year. We'll see if he can replicate it now that it's a more crowded situation. And then finally, Minsu, 3573, Goff, Love, Shuck, 3 starting quarterbacks, 3 kind of in this, weighted to, kind of 3 right in a row. Chase Brown, Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, good top 3. Woody Marks, Algier, 2 guys I'm in on and taking at their respective, ADP ranges. Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Christian Watson, stacked up there. All 3 guys. Jordan Tyson, he mentioned during the draft, the double Saint stack. Zachariah Branch, nice little fall there. And I think that's a better area for him. I'm kind of in similar to Stribling. Like, these receivers, rookie receivers, they have a path for sure. But I just don't love the current prices, ADP prices on them. So I like when they are falling. Jerry Jeudy and Troy Franklin. So I like, Jeudy at that price, like a 20 pick fall. Franklin at that price, it feels good and helps cover in case like a Branch is not what we think he might be. And then tight end room, Kraft, Dalton Schultz, Pat Fryerman. It's very, very strong there. Kraft being your big upside with 2 late shots on Dalton Schultz, who could have 100 targets, and Pat Fryerman, who could be more of a spike weekend. And did I miss anyone? I'm a fucking it's a prompting. Feels nice getting my eye shares last round. Of course, absolutely. Scat past ADP. Brett soaking up the EV with no Meg. Yes. Outplaying Tolbert down the stretch feels less impressive when you say it out. Fair. Honestly, it was even early though. Once, in DFS, when Lamb went down, I was thinking, Jalen Tolbert is gonna step up and be more involved, and he was not. It was fun. Time to get more beer. Love hearing that. They must think I'm a nerd. We'll drift another walking back home though, so hopefully someone gets value on my screw ups. I think it's fine. Already have your flags queued up, Red. Didn't take them twice in a row to save you. Of course, JT, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's get into another one. Get this going. Nope, my active drafts, I have to make some picks. So you see that's for sure. So Frenchie Sprint, let's see, where are we at? We're at almost 30% filled. A day and a half. So less than that actually. So let's jump in here. Counting down, entering in 10 seconds, entering in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. All right, so hopefully you guys jumped in because this thing is filled. See what we got here. Oh, I might have rug pulled the room. Cards and Zero, I think, are the only ones in here. Let me know if I'm missing anyone else. So that might have been an epic rug pull, as Mike likes to say. Cards and Zero for jumping in. I got the 9 spot. I like having a different spot this draft. In between Zero and cards this year. This one. I have the timing down. Nice. Yeah, I mean, from that 7-8 seconds, and it's not perfect, but I think generally it works. We have started. Gibbs, Bijan go 1-2. Puka goes 3 above Chase. Jason. Let's see what Zero does. Takes McCaffrey. ASP goes, I will take Jefferson. Someone consider Gentee here, but I'm going to take Jefferson. I mean, people forget 141 targets last year, and he was on such a better pace in those Wentz weeks. This was question Jeopardy, Justin Journey a couple weeks ago, and it was, I can't remember if it was specifically Jefferson or if it was a specific JJ McCarthy thing, but it was essentially, I think the answer Jefferson, and the question was something like, which player had the worst uncatchable rate, and it was Jefferson, or it was McCarthy. Either way, it was essentially a McCarthy stat of being so bad. And I think that changes. Like, I know a lot of people are down on Kyler, but he is just so much better than JJ McCarthy. Oh, 0. I'm taking Jefferson in this 1,000, like easy answer for me, Jefferson. Speaking of Josh and Hayden, they did bring this up, and I've talked about this before. Let me make this pick. Do it. Now this, I think, is who do I want here? I'm actually going to go Chase. No, I'm going to go Derrick Henry. I just talked about it. Like 16 touchdowns back-to-back years. He had 18 total because he had 2 receiving and 1,900 yards. But I would not be shocked if he's coming close to what he did 2 years ago. Ravens also upgrade their offensive line. I think, to what Zero said earlier, like the offense is going to be more aggressive. He's throwing the ball some more, but people forget just how much Ben Johnson loves to run the football. Yes, Goff's putting up 4,000 yards, 30 plus touchdowns, but Lions are a run first team. Bears, same sort of thing. I mean, Caleb was doing some really fun things, but man, Swift and Monangai, their combined usage was insane last year. It was great. And it could all be Derrick Henry. But the Zay Flowers stat that scares me is you look at his target share, it's really good, like 25%. His target share in the red zone, though, goes down to like 12%. That is not what we want to see. Ideally, we love it when receivers, they see an increased target share in the red zone. And if a guy like him sees a lower target share, that's one thing. If his normal is 25%, and he sees 20% in the red zone, 18% in the red zone, I don't think we get too scared. When it's down to like half, that's just not a good stat line for him. He's completely reliant on outside the red zone touchdowns, and that's tough. Now, I like Declan Doyle. I think they could get more creative, but I just don't see Zay doing what Amon-Ra does. Amon-Ra is just such a unicorn. I mean, most slot receivers don't have that red zone ability. He is such a freak. Yes, we're going to put on the clinic. I got to make some rooms out of this at least. Yeah, hopefully you're scooping up some EV there, Slayton. I think Jefferson probably scores more touchdowns, does get more targets, but it might be close. I don't know. Like, I understand he only had 2 touchdowns last year, but I just feel like that is not his fault by any stretch of the imagination. And is he the most prolific touchdown scorer in the league? Mike Evans, Devontae Adams? No, definitely not. I just think they will find a way. Yeah, I'm going to do Josh Allen here. And my thing with Justin Jefferson, I just feel like last year was just such an outlier from his touchdown performances. I mean, even that year, 2023, when he missed time, he only played 10 games. He had 5 touchdowns. He had 1,000 yards in 10 games and 5 touchdowns. His peak is only 10 touchdowns. He's done it twice. And then 7 and 8 and 5 are the other years. And I think that, that is the reasonable area that we should be considering. I think I go, Meg's not here. I will go Jacobs here. And the 5 was, again, he would have been on pace for honestly probably about 8-9 touchdowns that year. That he only played in 10 games, and he played 10 games but left 2 games early. So big just feel, do I ever think Justin Jefferson is going to have like 14, 15, 16 touchdowns? No, probably not. But 8 to 10, that's where I'm considering for Jefferson. I think that's totally fine range for him. Old school Harbaugh and Monk and Econ. Yeah. No, I mean, that I agree, but it's just Zay does not have that profile to be a red zone guy. Maybe I'm totally on board with the idea that Will can get more out of Zay and maybe utilize him more. Honestly, they should probably run him more. Use some more ability of him to run the football a little bit. I want to take it away from Henry, of course, but I think that's the way you help maximize him. Use some creativity there. Actually, Wednesday to play more in the slot. He doesn't get enough. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. I mean, they've talked about some Surratt in the slot. So we'll see what they do. Justin Jefferson around 6-10 touchdowns. They've always been around 5, so not that far off. We can throw out. I agree. Stephen Grillen and you out here taking shots at me. It's just Zay. I love him as a football player, just not great for half-point PPR. Don't think I'll go Tootin. And you do get DJ Moore back. I wasn't sure if I was going to. Didn't want to jinx it. That feels good. Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore. Let's go. Feeling good. Sure. And getting to the turn here, we'll see what Cards does. Christian Watson, that's what I would have taken if DJ Moore got taken. And Tate. I like Tate also. All right. Let's go Tyler Warren. Running backs are a little uninspiring. Receivers aren't my favorite as well, so we'll go Warren here. Probably make this a 2 tight end team. We'll see how it plays out, but I think that could work out well. Just looking up some stats. Because I couldn't remember what Justin Jefferson's red zone target share was. Red zone. Let's see the target rate. There it is. Red zone. He had 24.7 target share, which was 14th in the league last year. They were just so bad. So I'm actually, I know people are down on Kyler, but I actually think Kevin O'Connell could do really good things with Kyler and Jefferson and Addison in this, this group. All right, coming back up here. Pierce is there. Sutton. Not going to go Kraft. Don't know what to make on Pierce right now with the injury. So we'll go Sutton. 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm pretty good about this build right now. $118 targets turned 200 half-point PPR points last year. Feels solid. They're running 3 wide receiver sets. Maybe his targets don't increase, though. Yeah, we'll see. I like Zay more on full-point sites, and especially actually DraftKings, because 2 years ago, Zay was like tied for 3rd in the league in 100-yard games. Was it maybe 5 or 6, I think. So I think he's a little bit more interesting on those sites, just because I could see a lot of like 8 to 10 catch games for Zay. It's just, like on Underdog, a 10 catch, even 110-yard game is 16 points. That's fine, but just one guy with a touchdown is going to get there more often than not. Kraft, I don't know if that's big enough fall for me to jump on it. I'm going to take Jaden Reed. Reed, as I mentioned during the last breakdown, much more condensed room. I know the stat, he's got 8 snaps and 2 wide receiver sets. Well, I also think that changes when there's no Romeo Doubs, there's no Montavian Wicks. I don't think Matthew Golden is playing 100% of 2 wide receiver sets. The other options there, it's just a much thinner situation. And you mean tell me Savion Williams is going to get out there in 2 wide receiver sets above the guy they just paid big money to? I don't think so. So I think he'll be out there a little bit more in those situations. I think touchdown hunting is usually the prime thing to do on Underdog. And that's just my argument against guys like Zay and Garrett Wilson. It's not talent. Garrett Wilson's case, it's the talent around him. But they're just more capped on touchdowns. Garrett Wilson's highest touchdown year was his year with Aaron Rodgers. Second half of that, Devontae Adams was there as well. But I just, these guys don't seem to have the same, their ceiling is not, to me, as high, just because their chance of getting 10 plus touchdowns is so low. And I think, Jefferson 10 is kind of like his peak, but he obviously just does everything so well. It's the guys like Mike Evans, guys like Devontae Adams, even DJ Moore, who isn't the most prolific touchdown scorer, but just him being paired with Josh Allen, of course, Terry McLaurin, we saw 2 years ago his ability to get 10 plus touchdowns. See what Mr. Fisher does. Oh, he takes Kyler. I was going to take either Kyler or Kenneth Gainwell, so I would take Kenneth Gainwell. Give me a third running back. People are sleeping on Isaiah Nayer in 2 wide receiver sets. Oof, that would be quite the interesting development. I'm going to fade Zay to lower exposures. I drafted Zay from 2nd round to 5th round this year, so far time for others to have fun in the 20s. Yeah, he's been getting positive talk. We get these guys every year, and sometimes it is true. Like we'll have to adjust. It is possible. I hope not. But it definitely is possible. We see it. We literally see it every year, where somebody you're just not expecting ends up with a much bigger role. Jordan Love goes. Get Bo Nix. Evans can ball if he stays healthy. Kirk will ball if he does not stay healthy. I don't need full-time 2 wide receiver sets with Nair, but I doubt Reed is gaining a lot of run. I'm not saying he's gaining a lot of run, but I'm saying like this idea that he's not going to play a single down in 2 wide receiver sets just because he has 8 in his first couple of years and his first 3 years. I think that's a faulty premise. Because you could say in 3, granted, he's missed some time in that, but in 3 years, being 8 snaps, we should count that as 0. Let's say in 2 wide receiver sets, he plays now 15% of the 2 wide receiver snaps. As a massive jump in his route participation. That's what I'm getting at. Is we've seen what Jayden Reed can do just from being a slot receiver. I think he will take on a greater role in 2 wide receiver sets. Is I guess my thought process on it. But I don't think he's like the starting 2 wide receiver set guy. And Nair could fill in the Heath role, Ross Steeman. Yeah, exactly what I said, 10 to 25%. And my point is, even 10% is such a big jump from what he has done, which has been essentially 0. It's been like 0.001%. And that's kind of like, and I agree. Like I think 25% would be the peak of him into wide receiver sets. But if he's out there 10, 15%, that to me is a massive jump. Yeah, it's, I also will say, like, in terms of week 17, like, he's not going to get Derek Stingley treatment. Christian Watson's going to get that. So I just think there's a little bit upside on that sense as well. Don't think I need it. Could go likely, but I'm going to take this Rodriguez. I want to be a little stronger at running back. It's being attached to another really good offense, potentially a guy who could score 2 touchdowns in a game. For his price, I think it's fair. And really down the stretch, these later buys also, if the foot injury is lingering at all to start the year and slows him down, maybe that goes away, late in the season. I don't think today, JT, but we will be back tomorrow, and we'll see how long this contest is open. And I'm really happy with it. I'm happy that it is filling at this rate. Hopefully they bring out another one, maybe even make it a little bigger. Goddard, Coker, Hunter, Cam Ward. We're only going to do 2 tight ends. Let's just have 2 good ones, Warren and Goddard. We'll probably tack on a third quarterback. Didn't feel the need to take it right there, though. Appreciate you for jumping in, JT. Really do. Always fun, seeing you in chat and drafting with you. So thank you so much. All right, coming up here. I think at 2-4-4-2, done at tight end. If I get the right quarterback, I'll definitely be taking a third. If I'm only doing 2 tight ends, I will probably. I think my lean is 6 running backs, even though I'm feel good at these 4. I guess it depends. If my next pick is a running back, then maybe I would be done. So don't need tight end. Jonah Coleman, I don't know. I still don't know what to do with the Denver backfield, to be honest. I mean, you have Harvey and Dobbins coming off injuries. Coleman is a rookie. They just all eat into each other. Nobody is a great pick at their current ADPs. Obviously, Coleman's the cheapest. Just not. That's one I have the most of Dobbins, but I want to start taking Harvey a little bit more, and I do want to get some Coleman. There's a ton of Coleman pre-draft, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have more total. Goddard feels too cheap. I was going to hop on that if he didn't. Yeah, he really does. That's like, I know Meg is more Team Dallas, and I like Ferg, but I think Goddard needs to go above Ferg. I think Andrews needs to go above Ferg. Like, Ferg is good, and Ferg should be closer to like Hunter Henry. It's kind of my viewpoint on it. Cards getting Rogers. We will take. No, we'll take Evo. Let's swing for some fences here. Now, Gier is a fine pick here. I think he needed it right there, though. Thank you, JT. And yes, Mike, I would definitely show the board at the end. All right, yeah, trying to figure out how this team will end up being. If I need to stop at 2 quarterbacks with Rodgers going, I'm okay with that. On Knicks obviously have more than enough upside. Probably looking at 8 receivers for this build. So cards is seen at a 2471, 0 to 2462. And 2462. Back from my beer run. How's my auto looking? Well, we'll see. I mean, just took Aaron Rodgers, so hopefully that was intentional. It seems so. Michael Pittman. I mean, I like your receiver room a lot. The double anchor, strong receiver room. Tracy. I'm not a Mitchell guy, but I get the thesis of it. If he is the number 2 back on a great offense. Sadiq is the first tight end. That you can find ADP value, but that's probably somewhere I'm guessing you're going to be looking to catch up on. And Brett saying eat food with no family or friends feels great. I think we go here, Tesla. Maybe one of these 2 backs, or one up someone. I think I'm taking a running back here. Mitchell is fine. Mitchell goes. So unless there's a clear run on running backs here, I should get one of these 4. Allen. Oh, that is very nice. I'll have to jump in Say hi. We'll go. I get my choice of them, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go Kamara. Huheem's is great. Like that. There are so many just great best ball streamers. I was on the show with Nice and Blunt yesterday. Meg had BBG on. Emos in chat earlier. PPR Tyler, like Jack Candles, Hartman. Just so many, and even some of the people who are Morgan in the space now, like Goofy Chicken. Some of these other guys like Jiri. There's just a lot of really good people in the best ball space, and that's fun to see. The Candyman, of course, Schneid. I know life's busy for him, but always enjoy talking ball with Schneid. All right, so just a couple more rounds, then reviewing the couple teams in here. We will get out of here. We'll send everyone over to Huheem's channel. So be sure to drop the link. I think Hartman's on right now. I don't think I can go running back, though. Katron Allen fall would be fun. Up in just a couple picks. It's like Huheem's is going to be drafting a poodle tonight. That's a fun contest. I'm glad to see that's another one they didn't really mess with, didn't change. I think that's smart. And I know the puppy too is about to fill, but I would rather be drafting poodles than puppies for sure. Katron coming back. You know what? I want a third quarterback a little bit more. Let me take Tua. And here is Huheem's stream. So definitely check that out, and jump over and say hi to Hartman as well. So I got one more pick. Katron's still there. I will take it. If not, probably going with one of these selections. Wasn't intending 6 running backs. A little bit of fall here in Katron to just strengthen what I think is the more important position. Go over my team, and then we will go over the other 2 members in chat. Go Allen, Nix, and tack on Tua. running back room, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Gainwell, Chris Rodriguez, Alvin Kamara, Katron Allen, two like double anchors, Gainwell and Rodriguez kind of in the middle, and then Kamara and Katron late. I was fine stopping at 5. But Allen, I'll take the over a round of value on Allen, and many times Allen goes higher, so just kind of surprising to see. Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore stacked, Portland Sutton stacked, Jaden Reed, Jalen Naylor, Debo Samuel, and Tesla. I think the receiver room, particularly if Samuel gets some sort of good landing spot, feels really strong. Naylor, of course, should be the number 2 receiver and then being the third option on the team. Reed, we talked about. Sutton, obviously touchdown profile. DJ Moore, I will continue to take a lot of DJ Moore in the 50s if he stays there, especially with Allen. Other Warren, Dallas Goedert, I think that is a very, very strong 2 tight end room. I was fine even waiting, but when Goddard was on the board, didn't really love the other positions. So totally fine just taking him and having, wouldn't shock me if Goddard hits my flex sometimes, or one of them hits my flex sometimes. So we show the board for Mike. And then we'll get into Zero's team and cards. So Zero is the only Fanspeak member in this team, but we always appreciate drafting the cards. Cards 2, 6, 7, 3, Genty, Barkley, Start, Higgins, and McConkey. And we talked about some. He said he's zero drafting, but 2 quarterbacks back in Rodgers would be a little thin. Overall, from what I can see, a really nice, fun team. Zero, though, we'll look at a little bit more. Being a Fanspeak member, 3573, Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith. I think Zero said it earlier. Like, what if Geno, Barrett Wilson is what you need? I think, did he get Mitchell? No, just taking Geno, which we'll get to it. I think having the third quarterback is strong, and Geno does have late season bench risk. Should be playing week 6, should be playing week 8, so absolutely helping cover those weeks. Christian McCaffrey, Chase Brown, Travion Henderson, Tony Pollard, 4 starters, starting-esque. Endo might not be a technical starter, but I think is good for this kind of build. Also, especially when you 2 running backs above him and another guy you feel good about behind him, and tacking on Sampson. Monta Smith, I know that wasn't his favorite, but does get the little fall on him. Mike Evans, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Coker, Trey Tucker, Troy Franklin. These are a lot of receivers I like. Romeo Doubs is another one. Like, talked about touchdowns before. He's given his target share with the Packers. He's always had a good touchdown rate, which makes sense. He's a big, solid red zone receiver. And now he goes to the Patriots. He's not going to be the number 1 with A.J. Brown, but he was never the clear number 2 with Green Bay. They just had too many mouths to feed, too many receivers to use. I think he's now the clear number 2. Him and Hunter Henry are probably going to be the guys who really eat in the red zone. Oh yeah, you have Drake May as your quarterback. I like Jordan Love, but Drake May is an upgrade. Higgins, I think, could break out. Jalen Coker just paid him. Pretty much the number 2 option on that team. Trey Tucker, Troy Franklin, like them as well. Tucker Kraft, Dalton Schultz, and Mike Gesicki. Kraft. It's just such big time upside. Gesicki's talked about earlier, has that spike week potential. Schultz is kind of the 100+ target guy. Probably not a 20, 25 point weeks, but could have just a lot of 15 point, 12 to 15 point weeks. So I think I definitely see the vision, like how this team can pay off. So really fun draft. We hit up chat, then we'll get on out of here in a minute. Absolutely. Just being able to take Geno and get Mitchell back. Yeah. Sure. Burrow and Purdy have injury history. I'll take the points. Yeah. I'm the same way. And this is the whole thesis of third quarterbacks. Like, I know we won stacks, but end of the day, the insurance policy of having a third quarterback, I think, is more worth than being like, well, I didn't have a stack, so it's not worth taking them. Dubs had a 3 touchdown game with the Packers before. Yeah. He's got a good red zone role, and he never had a ton of targets. Like, I think his targets go up with the Patriots. They paid him $20 million for a reason. Yes, AJ Brown is the one, but he was never even like a clear number 2 on the Packers. I mean, for stints, especially when like Watson, Reed, others were injured. But now I think he just has a much clearer role, and it's 120-ish targets. Could easily have 7 to 10 touchdowns. Portfolio around Geno Smith is also known as tax deduction losses in the tax code. I'm same with 0. Like, I have Geno. I even take Geno some over Mendoza, though I do think in this, with the Mendoza playoff schedule, feels good. Depends on the build, but particularly when you have guys with like early buys like that, I like having 2 guys to cover the buy, because you just never know, one, Purdy missed time last year. Both Purdy and Burrow were injured during that entire early run at, week 6 through 8 for sure. But even if Purdy's not injured, he has a bad week 6 game and, a 12-point game. Maybe Geno has 18 points, and those 6 points could be the difference. I think just people don't realize just how many times, going back to like Aaron Rodgers last year, week 1, or if you had Josh Allen or, a handful of other quarterbacks, he's not outscoring them, but Aaron Rodgers outscored Matt Stafford. Aaron Rodgers outscored Drake May. Those were quarterbacks 2 and 3, and vice versa. May was 2, Stafford 3 on the year. And, Aaron Rodgers outscored Jalen Hurts. Aaron Rodgers outscored Dak. Dak had a great year. Aaron Rodgers outscored in week 1. Outscored Jared Goff. I mean, the number of really good quarterbacks that Aaron Rodgers outscored week 1 was a lot. Like, I think he was quarterback 7 that week, something like that. Jane Daniels, another one who obviously didn't have a good year, but point being, you'd be surprised how often that happens, and those points can matter. And sure, if it's only 1 point, maybe that's not a big difference, but in the case of what I said, like a 6-point difference, a 5-point difference, those matter. So absolutely 0. Russell Wilson added points to a Josh Allen team last year. Yeah, exactly, and he got benched very early. But yeah, that game against Dallas, Wilson had a great game. And we, talked earlier about Meg's, BBM team at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz had like 2 really good games at a time when Dak was injured, and she had Kirk Cousins also. And Cousins, was very good for most of the season, and Dak and Cousins were like alternating down through the playoffs. But Carson Wentz had like 2 big games that year, and it helped. Those combined points, like at the time we figured it out, like she would not have made playoffs if not for Carson Wentz. Like, if she only had 2 quarterbacks. Now, I'm sure there would have been other third quarterbacks she could have taken that would have been as good or better than Carson Wentz. But point being is, like, you'd be surprised how often those points come into play. All right. I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to go over check out Whohame's channel. Hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Thank you for drafting with me. Good luck drafting the sprint. Meg and I will be back tomorrow night for our members only show. Appreciate everyone again for jumping in draft, jumping in chat. And this was a lot of fun. Hope you all have some good drafts and get some good EV. And I will catch you next time. Peace.
If you're serious about crushing best ball in 2026, the Fanspeak Best Ball Guide is built for you. Inside, you'll find breakdowns for all 32 NFL teams, including coaching notes, strengths, weaknesses, and key stats to help you understand every offense heading into draft season. We've also created player profiles for every draftable best ball player, featuring advanced metrics, MVP stats, production data, and exclusive Spike Week charts that highlight league-winning performances. Looking for rookie analysis? Steve, our rookie guru, breaks down this year's incoming rookie class so you know which rookies to prioritize. And whether you're playing season-long, eliminator, or superflex best ball formats, you'll get strategy articles designed specifically for each contest type. The goal is simple. Put all the information you need in one place so you can draft with confidence all season long. The 2026 Fanspeak Best Ball Guide is available exclusively for paid Fanspeak Degen subscribers. Check the links below to join today and unlock everything you need to attack best ball season with an edge over your competition. Fanspeak's Best Ball Guide. Draft smarter, win more, and we'll see you at the top of the leaderboards.